At least you have real life friends, you know. Unlike me. Hey, this is Johnny Beane, live 5:06 p.m. Look at this, we're right on time exactly.
Well,
May 17th, 2017. Lynn, Mr. BHB. Is that Bruce? Hey man, John? Michael Bishop? Yes, I did. That is photoshopped, of course. Everybody, thanks for jumping in. It's Wednesday. It feels like we've been gone a month to me.
I know we haven't spoken. I haven't spoken to you.
It feels like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it is you, Bruce. Welcome, man. Yeah, even though it's only been since what, Friday?
Friday, but
Since
you have things to do on Monday now.
yeah.
So,
Hey, Christova, Christodov. Hello from Australia. Bruce, I missed you too, man. Stefan, yeah. Here we go. Yeah, it feels like even though it's only been a few days or whatever, well, what, 5 days
yeah.
or whatever. Yeah, I used Chris. Okay, Chris.
Hey, Lynn, how you feeling?
Hey, Lynn. Thanks for jumping in. Last night, Lynn, I did a Facebook Live last night. There was a deer in my front yard, basically. Yeah, and so I grabbed my phone. I just had to film it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And Lynn was one of the people that jumped in, and yeah,
Was
yes,
it a deer with no eyes?
huh?
Was it a deer with no eyes?
No,
Oh, so it was a no idea?
what?
Nothing.
Hey, Teddy. Thank you, Teddy. Joe. Hey, Joe. Joe, I got your thing this morning. Your invite for your hangout, but I was still asleep.
So you didn't get it actually.
Well, I got it. I looked at it, and I'm like, sorry, man, I can't. Yes. Hey. Yes. Here we are. Yeah. So yeah, Monday. I was out of town Monday on business. Just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know about this Monday. I don't know if I'm gonna be here this Monday or not. Not sure what's going on, but we'll figure it out. Hey, Vinny, did you get your stickers? Vinny's been asking everybody for stickers, and I don't. Hey.
Yeah. No one has them. My father, it looks like my father went to a bison farm today,
Mm-hmm.
where everything was made of bison, including the farm itself.
Wow.
Face to face with a bison, 2,500-pound bison. Is that a small one or is that a big one? Is that I know it's as big as a car, but is that like a baby bison?
Those things are huge.
Is that like a bicentennial?
Hey, Thomas. Anyway, welcome everybody. It's Wolfgang Wednesday. Looks like Teddy's coming over to your house, he says.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah, so what's new? What's new with you? I talked to you yesterday for like a minute. I forget why.
Because you weren't home. You were out getting Starbucks.
Oh, that's right.
And you spoke to me for a minute because I actually answered the phone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what's been going on? What's the haps?
Nothing really. I had an X-ray done of my hand, and it seems that everything is okay. Everything is where it's supposed to be. So I've decided to stop crying like a little boy and just pick up the guitar and play.
Mm-hmm. That's good. No, no unicorn drink, Lynn. Nope. The I drink the hard stuff.
My dad said the biggest bison there is 3,000 pounds. That's more like a trison, not a bison.
Are you kidding? Man, I love fruit roll-ups, man. Although I haven't had them in years. Actually, I taught a guitar lesson yesterday, and somebody there had it was like a fruit roll-up kind of thing, but it was like but it was like tape. You ever heard of that? You ever seen that?
Fruit tape up?
Well, you know, there was the gum, right? There was the gum
Yeah.
that was in the pink thing, and you open
Yeah.
it, and it was like tape.
Pink, it was like pink gum that looked like tape, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Apparently, they make like a fruit roll-up
Oh,
thing like that now. So,
how awesome.
yes. Desiree is here. Fruit tape. Is that what that is? Fruit by the foot? Bruce says. Have you had that stuff, Bruce? Fruit by the foot. Speaking of food,
Oh,
which we always do, thank you again to the person that sent me the coupons for the free sandwiches from what is that? Jersey Mike's. Yes.
You have a Jersey Mike's in California?
Yeah. Yeah, we've got a few of them. Thank you again to the guy that sent me these. Somebody that actually well, that mailed them to me. Thank you very, very much. Yeah, we have a few of them. There's one in San Jose, one in Los Gatos, and then one in Danville. For those of you that know the area. Cat dumpling. What is it weird?
I think she popped up as you were holding the that coupon up.
Uh-huh. I thought she turned it on, and it was
free subs.
Turned it on, and it was Dave's face.
Listen, I'm looking quite svelte today, so it couldn't be a problem looking at my face.
Mm-hmm. What?
Nothing.
Is there much of a jump? Oh, Joe has a question here. Is there much of a jump in quality between the German Floyd Rose and the Floyd on the Wolfgang Special?
Yes.
He's asking what the what's the difference, I guess.
The hardness of the metal.
Hey, Tone Talk. Happy Wolfgang Wednesday, man. Oh, you can't. Oh, the fruit roll-ups. Yeah, Cat Dumpling, when she jumped in, we were talking about fruit roll-ups and thought, well, that's kind of weird. Why are we talking about that?
Because Johnny doesn't eat. That's why.
No, I do. Today, I had 2 yogurts and a bowl of Rice Krispies.
Yeah, because that's a lot of food.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't eat that much. I mean, I don't eat too much during the day. I think dinner is when I actually eat, you know, whatever. I go the rest of the day drinking the hard stuff.
Mm-hmm. I really would like to know what's on that coffee cup that you keep taping up. Hey, Tone Talk.
Hey, man.
Is it like one of those smiley faces with the bullet hole in the middle?
No, and you can't say that. So
it's just
no, it's not. You'd think it might. You would think it might be, yeah, because it's yellow. No, it's not.
All right then.
And it probably doesn't even matter that I tape it up. It's just, you know, you tape up your guitars, I tape up my coffee cups.
I do. I tape them up.
What? Oh, talking about bisons and fruit roll-ups. Yeah, that is kind of a weird combination.
Mm-hmm. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
Especially on this show.
Thank you, everybody, for jumping in, though. It's Wednesday. We call this Wolfgang Wednesday. right there.
Yeah, because of these things.
Wolfgangs.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yes. So what'd you think of that video? I was out of town Monday, and all of a sudden, I get all these messages.
Oh, you
Johnny,
mean the video of Eddie Van Halen trying to be like Chris Hubbard?
everybody's like, Johnny, you see this? Look at this. And it was cool. It was cool. I'm sure most of you guys saw it already.
I think the best part of that video was seeing the Rude guitar in the top corner of the video.
That was your favorite.
That was my favorite part of it. Yeah, you know, it would have been cooler if Eddie would have done any other lick other than those two licks. It's like, dude, that's been done by you several times in one night. Play another lick.
I thought it was cool.
I did too. I'm just kidding. Listen, if I can't bust my hero's chops, then whose chops can I bust? I certainly can't bust yours. You have the play button. You can just turn me off.
Hopefully, I do. I never not want to hear that I turn you on. Okay. Huh? What do you say?
Yes, fat doubling. Yes, we need purple detuners and green detuners. That's what we need. Those two colors.
What else about that video? One thing that I noticed, which I'd probably have to watch it again. One guitar that I saw in the that's Brian, right?
Yeah, Brian's in there.
Brian, hey man, Brian. Oh man, Brian's hilarious. One thing that I noticed in that video, maybe or maybe not, maybe you can tell me. I thought maybe I saw the prototype to the EVH Star.
Well, I don't know if it was a prototype, but I saw a white painted one with its back to us.
It was white?
It looked white from where I was sitting, or unpainted, or maybe it was painted a different color, or maybe it was wood.
It looked like wood to me.
I thought it was white, but that could just be my eyes fooling me. Yeah, I saw the back of a white one. I also saw some sort of Explorer hanging on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, there was some cool guitars hanging there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I see a lot of people are trying to figure out what those set lists say on the tape to the wall there. I know a lot of people are very interested in that.
Brian Davies, no, my Ibanez Destroyer is not quite finished yet. It's almost there. I believe it's getting put together, and there'll probably be a video of it being played sometime tonight. I think Donnie is installing the pickups as we speak. The frets are in. The nut is on. Everything is ready to go. I think he's going to do a little video later and send it to me. And then I'll put that on Facebook. So there should be photos of it and a video. But it's not painted. It's just raw wood.
Daniel says he missed the video. The video of Edward that was posted just Monday. Monday, right? Daniel, go to Eddie's Facebook page. You'll see it right there. People have shared it everywhere, so it's.
Oh yeah.
It's like, yeah, you say Instagram. I saw it shared like 20 times on Instagram. But the one that got the most hits, like search the Eddie Van Halen hashtag on Instagram, the first video sitting there will be it. And that'll be from Edward's Instagram. Richard, that's because you weren't here, man. Everybody missed you.
That's right. It's all good.
Mm-hmm. Brian Davies is here. Right. Brian, he sends me tweets and Instagrams and all that stuff. He got that new that Fender amp, the Mustang.
The Mustang, yeah.
Is it? And yeah, he says he says on the amp there are 109 presets. And if you set it to 93, the number 93 on the Fender Mustang amp, the preset is called Early Eddie, he says.
Philip McKnight is here. Hello, Philip.
Hey, Philip.
Philip takes the place of any four jerks around. You know, as long as if Philip is there, those four are negated.
Philip, man.
That's awesome. Philip, you want to join us?
I haven't talked to you in a while, dude.
Let us know if you got a few little bit. We can send you an invite. You can come in.
Yeah, Richard. Yeah, I watch the Philip McKnight show too.
We love Philip McKnight.
But he's got so many people talking to him. I try to talk to him, and he never sees my my hellos and my highs and my hays and my weights and my hold ons. Oh man. Pris is here. Hey Pris. Pris, can you do me a favor and please tweet out this video? And I'll retweet you. Yes, black belt, yellow belly. We saw that.
Chris to Dave. Wow, Chris to Dave says, "Hey Dave, I'm building an EBMM kit, and it's going well. Red flame top maple, red flame maple top. If it plays really nice and it's worth the investment, what pickups should I replace the cheap kit ones with?" Yeah, you could put DiMarzios in. I would put a Tone Zone in the bridge and an Air Norton in the neck, and that'll be the closest you'll get to the original Music Man pickups that were in the Van Halen guitar. There's I'll make this real brief, but there's an argument against and for the actual pickups that were in that original guitar was a Tone Zone and an Air Norton that just didn't have names on the bottom of them. A lot of people say that those were the pickups, and a lot of people say they weren't. I'm a believer of they were the Tone Zone in the bridge and the Air Norton in the neck, just without the names on the bottoms of the pickups. So that's what I would put in that guitar. What?
I'm doing.
What are you doing?
Doing a few things here.
You get the crickets?
No crickets.
There
we go. Bill. Hey, Bill. Bill is here. Will is here. Bill and Will.
Awesome. So we got the Will and Bill brothers.
What was that?
I think Philip's waiting for an invite. Says Bruce. Says, who's that, Bruce?
Who? Mr. BHB. Is that?
Who's that? Is that Bruce?
Is that you, man?
Oh,
Brian the Geek. Thank you, man. Yeah.
2 and 1 says, "Hi, Johnny and Dave."
Hey, two bin and one. Hey, man.
John Cocktoastin says, "You can never go wrong." Hello, Philip McKnight, with a Tone Zone and an Air Norton.
Hey, dude.
Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me okay?
Perfect.
Yeah. How are you?
A lot of Fenders on the wall. A lot of Fender guitars there.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Hold on. Yeah.
What are you cranking up? The old
my desk.
What is that?
My desk.
It looked like you were cranking up an old record player.
No, my desk is like
his theme music.
Yeah. No, my desk in my office, this is my office. My desk is I can raise and lower it. So if I want to work on guitars, or if I want to work on an amp, or if I just want to use it like a desk and lower it.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, here's the deal. You know, today is Wolfgang Wednesday, and you have not one Wolfgang on the wall. What's up with that?
Well, I got one right here. Hold on. Hold on. I got this one.
Oh, look at that.
Now that's the premier one to have on the wall.
Yeah, see?
There you go.
Awesome.
Wow. There it is. You got that same one, right?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I love that one, right?
I do. Hey, you know what I just recently got? Well, actually, I didn't get it recently. I think I got it a little further back than recently. But I got an old overrated special, and I love it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, remember we were talking about that.
We were talking about it, and I absolutely love that pedal. Love it.
You know, it's funny. It's a really, really good pedal.
Yeah,
right?
I can see it. It's underneath that Sunburst strap.
Yes. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you wonder, like, why wouldn't they just make them? You know what I mean?
I know.
So I always wonder about stuff like that. You know, why
Because,
make
you know, I just think that I don't know. Maybe I think if they're readily easily bought, then they wouldn't. The mystique would be.
yeah.
Like, so what? It's just another tube screamer, but it isn't. It's
No.
really, really good.
The closest pedal I have that sounds like it is the Zen Drive.
Oh, you think so? Yeah.
Yeah, they're different, right? I think the Zen Drive to me is a little smoother and warmer, but
Yeah.
and the overrated special has a bite to it, you know, a little bit more bite. But but like I said, I don't know about you, but I do this when I get a new pedal. I instantly try to find what pedal I have that's close to it
Mm-hmm.
to kind of see where the lineage comes from.
Yeah. Sure.
So, but yeah.
Nice to see you. Anyway, hey,
Yeah.
you know, I finally got through the whole Larry Mitchell interview. That was you know, that was a long one.
Well, you know, that's why it took a while before I put it up, right? Because I had to go through and edit, you know, right, and chop out the stuff and compress it, and you know, it's like you're sitting there, and I'm like, I think I did it in 2 nights. You know, I did it in the you know, while I was getting ready to go to bed, you know, and I would do it until I was tired and went to bed, and then the next night I'd finish it up.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
Michael Smith says the overrated special pedal is awesome. Glad I listened to you, Dave, when you suggested it. Well, Michael Smith, good for you, bro. That's a great pedal. And how you doing, Michael? We haven't spoken to you in a long time. It's been a while.
Mm-hmm. So what does that pedal do exactly?
The overrated special?
Mm-hmm.
It's an overdrive pedal that it's probably best. It sounds best with a cranked. I would say like a tweed, like a tweed amp. You know, like a 50s style tweed amp that's just on the edge of breakup. It works the best as a pedal that is already slightly that works with an amp that's already slightly overdriven. It's not quite enough there for a clean amplifier. If you're using it with a clean amplifier as your blank sound, you'll get a pretty good rhythm crunch sound. Maybe not very crunchy, but like, you know, like maybe a Paul Kossoff type of rhythm chunk, but it won't be enough to solo with, unless you are, of course, Joe Bonamassa, who has the best hands in rock and roll. But even for him, if the amp isn't cranked up, it's not enough distortion. It's not enough gain coming out of that pedal. So it's best sounding with an amp that's just on the edge of breakup.
And the story is that, well, the rumor is that they based it off of the first Green Rhino pedal, right?
Yeah, it's based off of Green Rhino. Absolutely, it's just got a little bit more control than a Green Rhino. And
so apparently, for what they say is, you know, Joe was using that Marshall and all those boutique amps and all that stuff, and he and his pedal boards, and he shucked all that away, and he just wanted this pedal and a wah, and so they made him this pedal, right?
Mhm.
Is George Tripp, I think, made it for him, right?
Yeah, sure. Mhm.
Right. So George Tripp made it for him, and then he just had this in front of some vendor amps, and then because of YouTube, right, people saw it. That's
Mhm.
that's the part that Dunlop told me, right? They said
Yeah.
that, yeah, people saw it and were like, hey, can we get this? And they're like, oh, it's something we made for Joe. So they made I can't remember,
2,000 of them. They made 2,000 of them. Originally, they said that there's only 1,000 of them, but they really made 2,000 of them.
Right.
And try to find one. I dare you to try to find one. They're like non-existent.
Yep. Yeah, and they come with like some picks, right?
Yeah. Yep. They come with a lot of the goodie bag is really nice. It's a nice little package. Nice package.
Yeah. Well,
Tone Talk says the best plexi pedal I've heard so far is the Bogner Lagrange. Better than the 5150 pedal, in my opinion, he says. Well, I agree with you because number one, the 5150 pedal is not an overdrive pedal. It's not a plexi pedal. That's a downright distortion pedal.
Yeah,
it sounds great. It's great for that thing, but that's what that is. And yes, the Bogner. I like the Lagrange too, but I love the blue Bogner pedal. I think the blue Bogner pedal is I don't know what it's called. Is it called a Shiva? I don't know. But the blue they make a blue one and a red one. The blue one is my favorite of the three.
I have the Burnley, and it's the purple one. It's over there.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, that one's really good. I think I also have the Wessex. Whoops, if I don't fall down. Hold on a second. This one.
Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah. You know what? I think I have seen that before.
This is one. These are the ones that has the Rupert Neves preamps in them.
Yeah.
But this one's fantastic. This is probably one of the best distortion boxes out there. And priced accordingly. I think they're like $200 or plus 200 plus, like everything else now.
Well, how about this? I think we should, since the three of us are on here, I think that we should do another one of these and do like an overdrive shootout where we talk about different overdrive and different distortion pedals. What do you say? Yeah. Maybe one of your shows, Philip, where we do, 7 things you didn't know about your distortion pedal or whatever, and we just do a shootout.
Well, because it's getting. Do you remember? Do you have this compulsion too? I was surfing Craigslist or something the other day, and somebody had a used DoD pedal, and I stared at it for like 3 minutes, going, maybe I need a DoD pedal again. And I was like, oh,
you mean the old yellow one that says DoD on it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Those were good. Those were really good.
Yeah, but you think back, and I was thinking about the fact that it used to be like 10 pedals, 10 overdrive pedals, right? Like there was a Tube Screamer, a Blues Driver, right? DS1. You know what I mean? I mean, there was more, but I mean that you were aware of, right?
Yep.
And now there's I can't.
Everyone makes a dozen different ones now.
Yeah, it's
and they're all good.
Yeah, and they're all good. It's that's the trick now. Everything's so good. So,
welcome to Wolfgang Wednesday, where we talk about guitar pedals.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Wolfgangs then. I have 2, which is the other one's downstairs. I have a black hardtail, the Indonesian one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I bought one when they were clearancing them out because they stopped making the hardtails.
Right.
Because they said no one was buying them, and then I think they were blowing them out for $200, right, or something crazy. And I was like, well, that pickups are probably worth that.
That's true.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Johnny, say something.
Those are great. That's what I play. I play the hardtail ones.
Yeah. I guess I don't understand the, no one likes the hardtails. I always thought they were kind of cool in their own right too.
Well, I tell you, I think they're great because it allows you to have the Eddie type sound, and you don't have all the will to go crazy with a tremolo arm, and you have to actually play the guitar.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's actually really cool. Those hardtails really make you have to play the guitar instead of using the arm.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and there's some bands, like I'm in some groups where they won't even let me bring a guitar with the Floyd Rose.
Because of tuning?
Just because that's not the look, not the style.
Well, that's a bit ridiculous, but I can understand if it was listen, don't go tremolo happy. I can understand that, but because of the look, that's especially with you, because you're the king of who cares.
Well, because I'm in some indie groups where, I can play that, but the Floyd Rose, But then I'm in other bands I play with where, oh, you have to have a Floyd, man. Don't bring that guitar, bring the one with the Floyd. But yeah, I love it all. I love all of it.
Yeah, I've had the experience also where bands didn't want to have Floyds, but it usually was for tuning issues, and usually they had keyboard players, and they were afraid, because they've had experience before with somebody else that had a Floyd that couldn't tune it right. You know what I mean? So when I'd pull out of the case, and they'd be like, "No," they're like, "No," because they want to make sure you tune it correct. Because you remember that a lot of guitar players would have Floyds and tune them like a half step down, and then the band go, "Yeah, we're in standard," and the guitar player would be like, "Yeah, but I have no way to adjust that."
Yeah, you do. Bring a capo. I want to be a musician.
Yeah,
just be a musician.
Yeah, right. But that it's just based on experience. Somebody had that experience, and then they get weary of those kind of bridges and stuff.
Take care, Lynn.
Bye, Lynn. Hey, Dan. Dan is here. Yeah, I never really thought about that. If you play with the keyboard player, you have to be in tune if you play a stringed instrument.
Yeah.
You can't just let it go a little bit and be like, yeah, rock and roll, because you'll sound out of tune next to them. I never thought about that. Even though I do play with the keyboard player, I guess I'm always in tune.
So
I guess a lot of times I tend to tune a little bit sharp. A lot of times.
Okay.
Really?
That's common. I do a lot of setups, obviously, and I have players that either will do that or they have selected strings. They'll give me their cents. They'll give me each string how many cents plus or minus they want it.
Well,
is their name Alan?
It's called tempered tuning, and your bass strings will be a tiny bit flat.
Yep.
Your D and G strings will be right on the money, and your B and high strings will be slightly sharp.
You can't say that.
Your guitar should be perfectly in tune at that point, at least for the cowboy chords.
Yep. And then, but most players that want you to tune off of standard slightly, they want it slightly flat because they're usually pushing so hard. They push everything sharp and they're having intonation issues.
Yeah.
So slightly sharp sounds. So why do you do it? Why do you go slightly?
Because I guess my thinking is that, well, I mean, I tune it like that in the beginning, like as I'm looking at my pedal, tuning silently or whatever. I tend to go just a little bit past, a little bit sharp. So as I'm playing, it knocks back into being in tune. If that makes any kind of sense at all.
Yeah, I do that. I do it when I restring my guitars. I tune them slightly sharp and then try to stretch them down into pitch.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So
that's really funny. Okay. Whatever works for you, brother. Whatever works.
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen that before. You haven't seen that? I've seen players
where people tune sharp on purpose. Sharp? No. Flat? Yes. Not sharp.
Flat is definitely more common.
Especially if you have slightly higher action and you play heavy, because you're gonna bend sharp.
Yep, everything goes sharp. Yep.
And God forbid you really don't know how a guitar is supposed to feel, and you have a guitar where the nut is cut a little too high, and you play an open G chord.
Right.
You're going to be way out of tune.
Better hit the chorus pedal.
Yeah. Better hit 2 chorus pedals.
Jim is here. Jim says, "Hey now, happy Wolfgang Wednesday." He's asking if did grunge kill the Floyd for a few years?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely did. Mm-hmm.
I think grunge killed everything for a few years, right? It was like an instant stop.
Mm-hmm. Grunge is going to kill the 6 people that
Huh?
Nothing.
Well, yeah, I remember during the grunge years. I mean, that's when I got my Kramer Ripley for like $3, basically. You know, you could walk into any pawn shop in the early mid '90s, filled with Kramer guitars.
Oh yeah,
ones that people would kill for.
Yeah, you can't say
now. Well, you said G string on the money earlier. So.
Yeah, but that what?
I switched to bass because of grunge. That's why I'm a bass player. I basically started playing guitar and I practiced and I went to lessons and I did everything I was supposed to do to become a guitar player. And then I joined bands, and within a year and a half of joining bands, grunge came. And I actually feel better now. I watched our interview with Steve I don't know, a month or two ago, and he was talking about the singer of Green Day, and he was talking about Kurt Cobain and their style being ferocious, you know, and he was saying it so eloquently. Instead of just saying they were sloppy or aggressive, he was saying, look, there's an intensity to their playing. But to be honest, that's kind of what I feel like. I felt like I would go to band auditions and I was picking perfectly. You know what I mean? I was playing, right?
The technique was too good for the band.
Yeah, and they were and I didn't know how to read. I like Steve I was saying, I was sitting at home going, how do I undo this that I just practiced for, religiously for years. So I bought a bass and I auditioned as a bass player, and I just became a bass player.
Well, that's it. Or just stop playing solos, stop playing individual notes, and just play chords.
Well, so think about this. Even then, I wasn't really a solo player; I was a rhythm player. But as a rhythm player, your technique was still, it was still everything. As a rhythm player, you were still playing very precisely. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And they were playing, and you would go to a band practice, and it wasn't just power chords anymore. It was just big, open, grungy, like I said, intense, crazy music, different vibe. And I appreciated it. I just didn't know how to do it.
Mm-hmm. And like the guitar solo is just like bending one note a bunch of times, kind of thing,
Yes.
Yeah. That's how.
Sometimes not even bending.
That's how it kind of was when I joined this band called the Mayfire. I replaced a guitar player, but my style was more kind of like what you were saying. I kind of had to like not dumb down, but I had to basically get more loose in a way.
Right.
That's a very good way to put it, Johnny. Yes, you had to
not be as
up.
on,
Yeah.
You had to loosen up and be more human.
Yeah.
Instead of more click track, you had to be more human.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
And that really made me appreciate grunge music and just that whole style.
Well, yeah, think about this. That is perfectly put, because I could tell you right now, when I started playing, which is probably why bass wasn't a hard jump over for me, my teacher, he made me live on a metronome. You know what I mean? Scales were to metronomes. Everything was to a metronome all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I finally got like the Boss Beat Buddy, and I could stop listening to the click, and I could actually put a bass drum and a snare kind of sound.
Mm-hmm.
And grunge is definitely more of a feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And usually it didn't even have an ending.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when you smash your instruments. That's
right. The ending is the horrible feedback at the end of the song.
Mm-hmm. I can tell you though for a fact that Billy Armstrong from Green Day, he can play. He did grow up on Eddie Van Halen because a friend of mine was his guitar teacher, and he can do the Van Halen. Billy got into music because he saw Van Halen in concert.
I think that's true with a lot of them. I think they play down, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not all of them, but I think a lot of them.
He used to come into this. I used to work at the shop in Berkeley, and Billy and Trey and what was the guys? Mike. These guys would come in, and I remember Billy plugging in one day, and he was playing like Rolling Stones tunes.
Well, that sounds. I can understand that.
And I was like, wow, this guy can actually play. It wasn't just power chords, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you saw, remember Tremonti when he was with Creed? There was no solos, right? And then when he started Alter Bridge, he said, that was the record company's decision, no solos. That's what he said in the interview. And then he went to lessons with Michelangelo Badio to get his chops back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he started soloing again. And, and I can understand that, right? He basically said the record company told Creed no solos, none. So there's not a single solo, he said, pretty much throughout the Creed catalog.
That was still kind of the tail end of grunge.
Well, that's
Kind of.
well, think of this. I think that's what grunge morphed into, right? Because then they turned into those Creed rock bands, Nickelback, Creed.
I was in a band at that time. I remember when I first saw Creed on MTV. I was down in Florida, and I remember seeing whatever their first video was, right? And I remember thinking that was like the next step of whatever the rock scene kind of is, and I was kind of like, So I went and bought a Green Day record. I was homesick, because they were from out here where I was. But yeah.
And then look at that, and then Full Circle, and then you think Tremonti, and then you got Wolfgang playing with them, right?
That's true.
Yeah, and they so it's crazy how it all connects.
Oh, you know this. Everything's connected.
Oh yeah,
everything. You guys have no idea how much everything is connected behind the scenes and of just everything.
Yes. My friend Brian says if the music involves earling, it's grunge. The earling he's talking about is the pickle and mouth technique.
What's that?
It's the way they sing.
I get it. I get it. Like, yeah, they make the fate. They're
that type thing. It's
pickle
called
and
pickle and mouth technique.
You can't say that.
Yes, you can. That's exactly what it's called. That's the actual term. That's the actual term for it. Pickle and mouth.
Oh man. Oh,
you think I'm kidding, but that's the truth.
No, I it sounds totally legit because, like I said, that's how I would
Dumpling says the jarl.
Yeah,
but it's called the pickle and mouth.
Did you guys ever think that the lead singer of Third Eye Blind sounded like Elmer Fudd?
I don't have any information.
Because I remember their videos came on MTV at the same time the Creed video came on, and the band that I was in, the other members of the band, they're like, that guy sounds like Elmer Fudd, But it's funny now because I know I'm friends with the original bass player of that band, and according to him, nobody likes that guy.
Yeah.
He basically he fired everybody in the band.
Nice. That next genre, that was the downtune genre. They were the first guys to start going crazy with tuning everything down to C and everything, crazy.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
Everything's got to sound like a bass. Just take up the bass.
But it is interesting when you think back of how it all just morphed and how it goes and where it goes again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have a question for you. Behind your head, the Les Paul looking guitar, is that a Heritage?
That is a Heritage. The purple one, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's a hollow body Heritage prototype. They had it at the NAMM show, and they sent it to me, and I'm going to do a review and give them some notes. Pretty cool guys. They're crazy enough to let me just do whatever I want.
Cool.
They send me the guitar, and whatever comes out whenever I say is what is what it is.
That's awesome.
They're a cool company, right? Mm-hmm. I've been trying to unsuccessfully for the most part, but I've been really busting my hiney as the channel grows to try to grab all the smaller companies and get their attention and saying, hey, you know, not everything has to be Fender and Gibson, right? You know,
True. Is that the Mosrite thing? Is that the same thing with that Mosrite guitar?
That's Dane Electro. Those two guitars, that Strat with the lipsticks and that other guitar, those are Dane Electros.
No kidding, really?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That Dane Electro is called an 84 because Stevie Ray Vaughan had one just like it in 84 in white. So they decided, yeah, so they found that he had that one, so they've kind of reissued it with a Wilkinson and stuff. Like I said, some companies are cool. I contacted them. I said, hey.
Wait. The Mosrite looking one or the Strat looking one?
No, the Strat.
Oh yeah, well that's the Charlie Wirtz guitar.
Yeah. So they've kind of recreated it. And they have it in white. They have it in sunburst. And
it shouldn't have a tremolo if they're recreating
it. It should have had a hardtail. They've also took liberties because I think the one Stevie had a white painted headstock. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this one has a matching headstock. You know, I think they're doing it by what do you call that? Inspiration, right? Guitar inspired by.
Yeah, okay.
Right, because I'm sure they can't get the Stevie Ray Vaughan family to license anything. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think it's him. It's that family that they need to worry about. I think it's Charlie Wirtz guitars.
Okay, yeah. So this is their.
And also, I think Fender is doing that guitar. I think they're doing a lipstick pickup Strat. I know they did one for Kenny Wayne Shepherd. They did one in like a pink sparkle.
Yeah, and so that would make sense. They probably want to ride the wave of that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Dane Electro, like I said, I contacted every company you can think of that's small and said, hey, would you like it? You know, would you like some attention? You know, reviews and stuff. I would rather give you guys the time and effort. And
cool.
Less than 10% say yes.
But at least some of them do.
Yeah, like I said, and I think it's a lot of them they're all afraid because of the rules. The rules are they got to send it to me, and then I'll send it back when I'm done. But you know, who knows what I'm going to do with it? You know, right. I don't tell them, and they don't have any notes or control of it. So I think a lot of them are scared. But I think if they spent 5 minutes and watch any videos, they know I'm not going to say anything mean. So
yeah, and I don't think that I mean, kind of like Pete Thorne, you're not gonna if you don't like something, you're not gonna say anything about it.
Right. I would
review it.
Yes, I would send them notes and just call it a day. You know, right?
Yeah. If you don't like the product, you won't review it. That's just that's the fair thing to do.
Because and some people see you get that. Some people think that there should be more reviews where people are like, I don't want to say mean, but more critical. But the problem with being critical is it's just an opinion. It's not a fact.
An opinion. You're right. That's an opinion.
So I can understand if I like something, well, I don't want to share that with people. But if I don't like something, I should leave it alone because I'm leaving the person who likes it alone as well. It's not about just dogging the company. You're dogging people who own it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't enjoy it very much when I like something and I watch some guy on YouTube tell me what an idiot, crappy it is, and anybody who buys it's an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it doesn't make me feel good about my purchase. It still makes me like it. Just doesn't make me feel good.
Right.
So it makes me wonder what's wrong with them.
Well, yeah, and it doesn't happen too often, but but I know that's like one of the things people don't understand. Like, if you don't like it, why don't you just say you don't like it? But like Dave points out, I'm like, no, you should just go on your way, unless there's neglect, something wrong. You know what I mean? Seriously wrong. You know what I mean? Yeah. It would be a different thing if we were doing tools and this was a safety issue, right? But like you said, it's just an opinion. If I like the way something sounds, there's no fact in that. It's just something I like. So, but again, we're off topic of Wolfgangs again.
That's okay.
What about those two amps right there?
Oh, okay. So I have the two LBXs and I swapped them. I swapped the LBX2 to the black cage and put a black knobs on it, and then I put the white cage on the LBX1 and put black knobs on it. So the black one, I don't know if you can see the black one over there. It's all black,
right?
The all white one. And I've been A-Bing them so much. In fact, that's why I was having trouble walking a minute ago. All the cables and stuff are on the floor. I really, really like the LBX1 sound, and I like having the clean channel of the 2, but I cannot get the 2's distortion to sound as good as the 1. Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't make sense to me. Why? What is it that you like about the 1's distortion more?
So here's what's funny. So that when I said I have pedals on the floor, I'm not kidding. I have the 5150 pedal. I'm using,
wow.
Yeah, the Friedman BEOD, right? Like I was running this to the clean channel of the LBX. They sound fantastic, right? There's something weird about the LBX2, and here I don't know how to explain it. It will not, because one of the things that because you have the 50 watt, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. The 50 watt is fantastic. The only thing I like about the LBX over the 50 watt is that sometimes to me there's a pleasure that when I'm playing really quiet at night, if I don't have to use solid state or digital, right? Sometimes if I can still use a tube amp, it just feels nice. You know what I mean? To have that interaction. But it's hard to drive an amp so quiet, right? And like you had mentioned before, I use the 50 watt and I'll put something in the effects loop like a delay, and that'll bring down that line level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but well, with the 50 watt, well, like you just said, the 50 watt has an amazing bedroom sound.
Yes.
House sound.
Absolutely.
Apartment sound.
So here's what you'll find interesting.
I don't own an LBX, so you're telling me that it only sounds good loud? It doesn't sound good?
No. What I'm saying is the LBX, right? 1.
Right.
At low volumes, like if I was to A/B the LBX against the 5150, my personal opinion is if we started at volume just below number 1, right, on both amps, let's say on the blue channel, to be fair, right, I feel like the LBX sounds slightly better than the 50 watt. And then we raise the volume line on both, and then we get to volume 1 or 2, and I think they sound almost the same. And then as you go to 3 and 4, all of a sudden the 50 watt starts sounding better and better, right? They do exactly what I think you think they would do. When you turn them up, the 50 watt comes alive and it rules. And you turn them down, the 50 watt sounds great, but the LBX has more power tube saturation still happening because you could flip it down in that little 3 watt mode and really drive it a little harder, right?
Yeah.
At that low whisper volume. But here's what's wacky. The 2, it's not only not as quiet as that, it's not as quiet as the 50 watt.
You think it's louder?
It's what it does is it does the classic Fender thing. It has 2 volumes, off and loud. Like it's.
Then I think that's actually the taper of the pot. I think that's the pot that they're using.
They did stack them, so they are concentric pots, and I'm sure it was hard to get a. And there's another issue going on, which is I have a friend, I'm sure you have friends too. They're amp builders that would probably love to go through it. I have a friend that I want to go through it now because, they removed a preamp tube, right? Mm-hmm. So I started getting this weird vibe from playing. By the way, I still like it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be A-Bing them like crazy for the last couple days, right?
Right.
But it feels like they removed a power tube from the LBX2. And what I think they did is they took something out of the gain stage to clean up the first channel. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And then I think they artificially put something
like me. Hey, this is Johnny.
Sorry, guys. I apologize.
No problem. I think they put something artificial to get the gain back again. Does it make sense?
I believe you, and I understand what you're saying. I just have not heard it for myself because I have not really plugged into either amp. I plugged in at Guitar Center to the one. I still haven't plugged into the new one. Yeah. And I haven't devoted any real time to either one to give you my answer. So
yeah,
but I totally trust what you're saying.
Yeah, and the 2 on the clean channel, because the clean channel sounds great, right? If you run, your Friedman or your 5150 pedal through it, it's fantastic. So there's nothing to complain about. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So then they're on par because you can just use the clean channel and then turn the pedal down, to get that quiet sound. But I don't know how to explain it. There's just something slightly more magical about the one over the two. So it's almost like I wish they'd combine them, and then I go, oh, that would be the 50-watt head.
Yeah.
Did you do a video? Didn't you do a video on the two? On both of them?
I didn't do a video of the two. I did a video of the, or not. I did of the two. I didn't do of the two comparatively. Speaking, right? Because what happened was, and I've seen actually it happened to a couple other YouTubers out there too that reviewed the LBX2. We all made the same mistake. We all got excited, did a review, and then messed around with it later and figured it out. Yeah, for the review, when you put it on volume 2, it sounds fantastic, but late at night when you went right under volume 2, it literally goes to that fuzzy, like a ham radio sound.
Yeah, it's horrible. That's horrible.
Yeah, it's horrible. Like I said, so it's not. And when I say volume 2, it's not loud. It's not like killing the neighbors or anything. It's just too loud.
It's very buzzsawy. It's not good. And you're right, no transistor radio like.
Yeah, so it's and you could imagine, like Dave, you've mentioned in the past that for gigging you're not really into the 15 watts. That 50 watts is more applicable, right? Well, I don't disagree with that, but this is definitely a bedroom amp, right? That's how I look at it, right?
Yeah.
Well, then for a bedroom amp, I need it to be a bedroom amp.
True.
So, but they are both cool. So that helps.
Mm-hmm. Adam Scheinberg wants to know what guitar I'm holding. I'm holding my purple Wolfgang.
Is that the PV?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep, guitar of the moment. I was playing my 5150 guitar for the last 3 or 4 days.
See, I missed it. When did you get that one?
This guitar?
No, the 5150 guitar.
My 5150? I've owned that for almost 8 years.
Okay, so it's the one you made. I thought you were talking about the new one that came out with this year.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to buy one of those. Johnny's going to buy one.
Really?
Yeah. I'm going to buy all of them.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy 5150 of them.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. And who is it? Somebody.
I'm not saying that it's not. I'm not saying that it's not cool. I already have one. I don't need another one. Whether it's an official one or not, I just don't need 2 of them.
Mm-hmm. You haven't felt the neck on it though, man.
And I'm not going to.
Oh my goodness. Did you?
I don't like R3. I don't like R3 necks. I don't like R3. 1 and 11/16 at the nut. I don't like it. I mean, it's one thing on a Les Paul, but I don't like that on a Fender scale guitar.
Did you play it, Philip?
I played it at the show. Yeah.
Because I was. Did you look at it when because we were together?
Yeah, we were together in the booth. I didn't look at it then. Remember, I was all obsessed about the LBXs when you were at the booth with me. Mm-hmm. Right, I was staring at them. I was like, because I like the LBX and the idea of a clean channel was really exciting. The 5150 guitar, I kind of lost a little love for it because it was $1,300, and it's not the price tag per se. It's the
what you're getting for $1,300.
Yeah, right. Well, because you're sitting there going, okay, they did a satin finish, which is is less work, right? And it's made in Mexico, which is fine, but I'm sitting there doing the math going, wait a minute. I got the striped guitar, right? Because I have the crop circle and then I have the red, red striped. Mm-hmm. And this red striped, I think when I got mine when they first came out and they were $7.99 before they started raising them. And even now they're what, $9.99 now? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense why the 5150 guitar is more than the striped guitar.
Well, I'll tell you why it's more, because they're recutting that body. It's not a body shape well, maybe by now it's done on a CNC and it's done as easily as a regular Charvel Strat style body. Right. But those original ones, the 2 that were built for the NAMM show, were recut by hand for that because they didn't have the tooling. So I think that's how they decided, well, it's a different body. There's more work going on. And I'm sure they have to sand more to get those contours more correct. So I think there's more hands-on guitar That's my personal belief. I don't know this for a fact, but I think there's more hands-on guitar for that guitar than there is.
But they saved
the
that.
other guitars.
But they saved that time not having to do that gloss work. You know what I mean?
You know, I don't know that. I don't know that, and I'll tell you why. Because there is still a finish on the guitar. It's just not that final polishing.
Right.
If you were to polish that at that point, it'll shine. So there is still clear on that guitar. It's just unpolished.
Yeah, but they use if you ever watch them when they do that stuff, when they shoot clear and they buff it like that, you know, right? Because what they're trying to do on the Stripe series, when they shoot clear, they got to shoot clear and buff it so that you can't feel those tape lines anymore.
Right.
Right.
And keep in mind, I have not felt the 5150 guitar. Can you feel the stripe lines?
Oh yeah, you can feel the stripe lines.
And that's another thing. You're actually getting what Eddie Van Halen feels on his personal guitars.
Right.
So they think that they can get more money for that reason.
Right. It's what, and I agree with that statement. I think it's, and again, I'm not villainizing it by any means. I'm just saying, I feel like they looked at the scenario and goes, okay, this is what people will pay. This is what it's worth. And they went with that. But for me, it was hard to value it that way when I'm like, well, I have one and I know it probably costs more to make the one I have and I paid less for it.
Well, here's the thing, you know, and I'm going to disagree with you there. Yes, you can have a, well, actually, no, because what I'm going to say is different than what you're saying. For someone to make their own replica of that guitar,
right?
You can make one for $500. You can, but for you to make one that is of any quality, you're going to spend $2,000.
Yeah, that's what you figure. Yeah, at least, right?
And that's whether it's clean or relict. Sometimes if it's relict, it's going to be even more money because you know, and I will tell you from you know personal experience, there's about 100 hours of relicking in that guitar.
Yeah.
If you wanted the full relict version that you know of Eddie's personal guitar, like the one I have.
Right.
But and I'm not condoning anyone to build these things and to sell them, but the going price for those guitars, if they are getting sold, if someone is stupid enough to sell them, to build them and sell them, is $2,000.
Right.
That's just the going price for a good quality one.
Yeah, you know what? That's a better point too. You know, because that's probably more of a validation of price than anything. Is that even the fake ones go for way more? You know what I mean?
Yeah, they do. And they're, you know what? The good ones are worth the money. It's not. I mean, it's you know, I mean, if you're building one for yourself, fantastic, more power to you. For those of you who are selling them to other people, shame on you. But they are great quality and they're great guitars. I mean, if they didn't have stripes on them, they'd be amazing guitars to play, you know, to tour with. You know, if it had more than one pickup in it and they didn't have stripes on them, they could be any color or no color. I would take one on the road and tour with it because they're great, great guitars.
I absolutely agree. In fact, what happened with me was I was a dealer when the Charvels came out, when they first came out.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to buy them in threes. It was miserable, right? Right? Because you had to buy the Bumblebee, the white and black, and you had to buy the red. And you get them and you delivered, and immediately everybody wanted, in order, they wanted the red one, then the white one, then the black one. But most of the time, you had 3 or 4 people wanting red, 2 people wanting white, 1 person wanting black. And when you reordered again, you got 3 again, right? The same 3. Right. So you know, everybody started gunking up on the black one, the black and yellow, and the white. You know what I mean?
Bless you. Yes.
And they were $2,500, right?
Yeah.
And because of that, it was impossible for me to get a red one. And so then, you know, they stopped making them, right? Right when they decided to do the Wolfgang project.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then, you know, as you know, the end of the story is they go for that used now, easy, right?
Oh yeah, and they're well worth it. You know,
yeah,
well worth it.
So when they reissued,
you're thanking God. You're thanking God you can get one for $2,000 used.
Yes.
You know, you're like, oh my God, I scored.
Yes. You know? So when they reissued the Made in Mexico EVH ones, right? I was like, I'm getting one this time, you know, right? Like I said, I got, when the red one came out, it was $7.99 like the others. They were all the same price. This is what's interesting about that. Exactly what you're saying. I love my red and white striped EVH guitar so much. It's probably one of my favorite sounding guitars of my entire collection. And if it came, and I've almost been crazy enough to sand it and paint it a flat, you know, one solid color. Because like you said, I feel like I'd play it all the time if it wasn't, you know, I don't know how to explain that. Like,
if it didn't have the Van Halen scheme.
Yes. And I sit there every time going, I cannot believe they haven't figured out. They should just issue, like the Wolfgangs, they should issue them in normal colors, like just black, actually just black. That would
I know a guy who, when those first Charvels came out, I know a guy who worked for Korg USA Marshall, guitar guy. He loved the guitar so much that he asked Fender to custom shop to build a white one with a black pickguard, no stripes, and that was his custom shop option. A Floyd Rose, one pickup guitar in white, maple neck, big headstock, like the original guitar, right? No stripes, and that was it. That was the only custom shop thing, and that was his main guitar, and I believe it still is his main guitar.
Yeah, and then I went through and I know I talked to you about this. You're the one that solved my problem. I had bought a bunch of Charvels. You know, and I bought them, and I was going to hell and back trying to get them to sound good. And I yanked the pickups, the Seymour Duncans, I put the Wolfgangs in them. I did everything I could, and I couldn't get these guitars to sound like these EVH stripes. And I go, well, you know, it's basswood versus alder. And I go, I just can't, I can't imagine that's it. You know, and I kept going back and forth. And then you said, it was after we did a live broadcast. It was after the broadcast. You said, you know what it is? It's because the bridge is against the body and the Charvel's floating. You remember that? And then as soon as I got off the air with you guys, I ran and grabbed my guitars and beat them. And I was like, that is exactly it. And so I got rid of the Charvels, you know, right? Because I was like, yeah, there's no way I'm going to get these Charvels.
Yeah, but the only thing you need to do and I'll, you know, now that I know you're going to go short, is to put a trim stopper in the cavity, the back cavity.
Get this. So if there's one thing I can say is I'm fanatical, right?
So you tried that? Did you try that?
Like I just got a new pedal. I take everything apart. I look at it. I am crazy. So on the guitars, not only did I use a trim stopper, I made a block. Then I made a double block. I blocked it from both directions. I tried to fill the cavity up with wood.
It wasn't the same. There wasn't enough of that bridge touching the body.
It's not enough of that bridge topping the body, because you know what it is about those striped guitars is that it's those notes are singing.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're singing. And you know,
well, also did you have the pick guard Charvels or the ones without the pick guard?
No, I get this. I had the non-pick guard Charvel because the EVH I have is non, and I removed the neck pickup. Right. Now I didn't fill the cavity, but at least I removed the pickup because I'm like, you know, back to that theory that, you know, hey, maybe the
one
neck
pickup, the strings are going to vibrate better. Yeah.
Yep. So because I was, as you know, I was determined to get an EVH guitar not in stripes. Right. And then my final solution, which didn't backfired against, is I bought two crop circles guitars. Right, when they killed the model, they were blowing them out. So I bought two on a blowout, and with the full intention to paint one. Right, just painted a solid color, and I pulled it from the case probably a dozen times, and every time, you know, I start the process, and then I just can't do it. I just can't paint over all that work. You know what I mean? It's not even like a depreciation thing. It's just, I don't know, you know, right? It's like, I don't know how to explain it, right? It's taking someone's workmanship and just slapping paint over it. It just makes me feel horrible. So
Yeah.
So anyway, so yeah, Steve Anderson, just contact me via Facebook or something, because I'm not going to do that on here. I'm sorry.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, that's
So
cool though, man.
People want me to help them build their guitar on this show, and I'm not doing that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, you're virtual.
Yeah.
Thank goodness for that, because you can't strangle me or hug. That's cool though, man. Phil, or who was talking about that? Dave, your friend that has the guitar with just a solid color or whatever.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
That's a good idea, right?
That's because well, I mean that's the thing though is I mean they're great guitars, but you take that thing out at a gig and it's like, hey, play Eruption, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Are you trying to be Eddie? And so that's the thing. They're perfect for people that actually do play that stuff all the time. You know,
Well,
either
they're good
that
for a gag. They're good for, they're great for, you want to take that on a gig and you're not playing like Eddie. They're good for a gag every once in a while. You take a striped guitar out, you want to, oh, that's cool. And then the minute someone says, play Van Halen, you're like, you want to kill yourself. But then, it's like,
There is something magical about them. Did I tell you this before? There's a guitar store in Arizona where I live called Bizarre Guitar. And it's one of the only, I wouldn't say boutique, but in it where we live, it's as close to a non-guitar center as you can get, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Joe Bonamassa, you can look it up on YouTube. It's just a great video. And it's not a video that a lot of people seen. It probably has like 600 hits. Joe Bonamassa came to town, and as you know, he's known habitually to go to guitar stores, right?
Yeah, Guitar Safari.
Guitar Safari. So Bizarre Guitar is like the only really one to go into. And so he went in there and they were excited, right? They posted it right on Facebook. In fact, I think they sent out messages to everybody like, hey, Joe Bonamassa is in our store. And the video is hilarious because it's Joe, and out of all the guitars there, you know what he picked up? He picked up a red and white EVH striped and played it through a Marshall amp. And it's the video of him just shredding on it, playing it.
Well, you know why he did that?
Why?
Because just previous to that, he bought an original 80s, like 81 black and yellow Charvel.
Yeah, black and yellow. I saw that
he
video
was
too.
playing on tour. He actually used that for a song or two on his tour.
Yes.
Each night, it was one of those original striped Charvels. So he was getting a kick. He was getting his Van Halen on, and that's why he chose that guitar.
Well, I get so excited when I see guitar players that I think are just amazing beyond all belief get googly over another guitar player, right?
Yeah.
There's something just so cool watching a guitar player that you just can't imagine who he could look up to anyone really, and he's just like, he's a fan too, right? I love watching him just be a fan. So yeah, you should check that video out because it's not very long. It's probably 30 seconds long, but it's good.
Mm-hmm.
It's
very cool.
Guitar. And you find it exactly, just type in Joe Bonamassa EVH guitar and it comes up. So.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Yeah. I know what you mean. It's really cool to see, somebody that you look up to see them excited about who they look up to.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And you just don't picture them buying, that guitar or using that guitar. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And almost so I compulsively, I like to see if I can find guitar players who own other guitar players' guitars. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you find out it's really easy. Actually, it's not even that exciting. Like, John Mayer has an EVH guitar. In fact, he has a Frankenstein reissue.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
And he bought that, and then he bought a Clapton Crossroads 335 and used it on the same tour.
Right. And so you're just like,
he paid a ton of money for two guitars, like one right after the other.
Right. I'm sure he'd be fine. Well, these guys, it never occurred to me. So you said it, the Guitar Safari. So did you see the thing on Reverb where Joe Bonamassa shows you his?
Yeah.
His
house.
You know what hit me?
Nerdville.
Yeah, Nerdville. You know what hit me watching that? Something that never occurred to me in a million years. I don't know why, so it probably occurred to you. When these guys go out and buy guitars, and he was saying things like, yeah, I bought this guitar. It's, he's like, yeah, I'll sell it one day and I'll get my money out of it. Or if not, I'm okay. I started laughing going, wait a minute. Every guitar he buys goes up in value.
Sure, it is.
Right. So think about that for a second. You could, if you were that level key player, right? Like if you're Bonamassa or John Mayer or Jeff Beck or whoever, and you're out guitar safaring, every guitar, whatever it's worth the day you buy it, is worth slightly more.
Jumped up. Yeah,
because you owned it.
Right.
Oh, even if they just touched it.
Right.
Yeah. There was the shop that I used to work in. Every time Billy Joe Armstrong would come in, any guitar he would pick off the wall and play for a little bit. Later on that day or that week, the owner would be like, Billy Joe just played that, and then the person would buy it just because the guy from Green Day just picked it up.
Mm-hmm.
George Lynch told me a story once. He said he was in a Sam Ash doing a clinic, and he said after he picked up every guitar he picked up, as soon as he was done, they asked him to sign it.
Yeah, because it's an actual played George Lynch guitar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And and like I said, I don't know why it never occurred to me. I mean, it's one of those things you're kind of aware of, but I never thought about that. Right?
Sure.
The only thing worth more than a 62 Strat is a 62 Strat owned by Joe Bonamassa.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So
yeah, it's crazy, but it's the truth. The Norm's Rare Guitars. He does a lot of videos, and he and Joe are very, very good friends. They're very close buddies. So Joe apparently wanted some crazy guitar, some vintage guitar from him, and Norm was like, "Listen, just what do you have that it doesn't have to be the most amazing guitar, but something that you own that's very significant to you that you'd like to trade for this or towards this whatever vintage guitar it was." I don't know. They didn't say what guitar it was. I have a feeling it was the Flying V, the 58 Flying V he bought, but I don't know. Anyway, so Joe chose the prototype custom shop gold Les Paul that he used on the Albert Hall concerts that he did in 2009.
Right.
The one that they did the video with. You see him all the time. You used to see him all the time. And that guitar brought a ton of money because it was the prototype of the line of 300 guitars that they made, the Joe Bonamassa guitar, and it's the one from the video. It's the one from the concert.
Right.
So so someone that $4,000 guitar or $5,000 guitar that would be normally, if it wasn't Joe's personal guitar,
right,
is how much now? What, $25,000? Because not only was it Joe's guitar, but it was the prototype of the run.
Yeah.
So there you go.
And you always wonder because you hear the story about Jeff Beck trading Seymour Duncan.
Yes.
What I mean?
Yeah.
And you always wonder, like, right? You wonder about that because they're really what they're trading off is not a guitar anymore. They're trading off a piece of rock memorabilia.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
So yeah, you wonder, like, in 10 years, will he go score or Joe Bonamassa go, oh,
that's true.
Will he end up?
One second. I just have to address someone in the chat. Bozique says, I have no clue what the rest of Dave's home looks like, but I'll drop $1 million to buy. What do you say? It's going too fast. I drop $1 million to buy it if it were rich. If I were rich, if the guitar collection came with it. I tell you what, other than my 59 Les Paul, I would give you the whole kit and caboodle with the house for $1 million, Bozique. Come up with $1 million and it's all yours. With every guitar in it up other than my Les Paul.
Do you come with the house?
Yeah.
No. I'll just build more guitars. I don't care. Let Eddie sue me. For $1 million, he could sue me.
You can buy my house. You can buy my house. I'll be your roommate.
There you go.
And you'll be living with a millionaire.
The last time I did a live feed with you, my wife saw it, and the only thing she said was she loves Dave's lamp. She's like, I love his lamp.
Oh yeah,
she loves that.
My Tiffany. I have a couple of Tiffany. Yeah.
Yeah, she loves them. So she's like, oh, I was like, yeah, look at his guitar. She's like, oh no, I love his lamp. I'm like, all right, fair enough.
Yeah, I'm a Tiffany kind of guy. I like the Tiffany lamps.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should do a lamp. This is lamp chat, everybody.
Yeah.
Let's talk
Blank
about this.
Palette too says if people check out Chelsea Constable, she plays off the shelf guitars and sounds very close to Eddie. I doubt she knows about blocking and all that other crap that people do to sound like Eddie. Well, Blank Palette, to tell you the truth, first of all, Chelsea Constable is one amazing guitar player. She's in her early 20s, and she doesn't just play off-the-shelf guitars. She plays John Suhr guitars, and her John Suhr guitars with her TC Electronics pedals, she works very hard to sound like Eddie Van Halen. Right. When she sounds like Eddie Van Halen, she works very hard to get that sound. When she sounds like Eric Johnson, she works very hard to get that sound. Yeah. It's in her fingers and in the tools that she uses. No, she doesn't use Floyd Rose guitars, but she does have several guitars with Floyds on them to get that sound too. I think she's got a couple of Les Pauls with Floyds on them.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, nothing comes easy.
Yeah, no. She is an amazing guitar player, no matter how you cut it.
That's one of those things.
If you don't know who she is, Chelsea Constable. Check her out on YouTube. Chelsea Constable. She's amazing, and then her 13-year-old sister is just as amazing on guitar. They're just both crazy good.
Yeah, for the record, only Johnny Beane plays guitars with high action. Everybody else, just kidding.
Well, I'll go one further. Only Johnny Beane can play with high action.
Yeah,
I play it however it is, and that's what makes everything else easier. You know, my guitars are all the actions like this high. I can go and play anybody else's guitar, and I look amazing to them because it's so much easier for me to play their guitar. You know,
the Wolfgang behind you, Johnny, is that the one? Did you put that one together, or what is that one?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So is that the one where you got the neck? Is that the one when you got a neck, you put it together, or did you do something? Did you ever do anything with that neck?
I had the neck.
Okay.
The neck I had, the neck was or is the Chinese special.
Okay, right.
With the stainless steel frets.
Right.
And then I got the body and basically sanded down the headstock to match the body.
Oh, perfect. Right.
Yeah, guitar is super cool.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. I mean, right? Because it's got a beautiful quilting on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love the natural, right? Is the body finish or is it satin? Is it like soft? You know what I mean? Or is it gloss?
It's all sanded down.
Oh, see, that's even better.
So
it's kind of like a prototype guitar.
It just looks like, yeah, that's what it kind of looks like, and that's why I liked having it without the pickup in it for a long time, the neck pickup,
right?
Because it made it kind of it made it look like a prototype guitar or something. And because I like to play stuff that looks different from, you know, anything else or whatever. But yeah, it did have to have the neck pickup in there eventually to make it.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Michael Smith says he's coming to New York in August. Just contact me, Michael. We'll do lunch. You can come over. I'll we'll meet up here if you want. Play some guitar.
I'll take you to Moe's.
You'll take him to Moe's.
We don't have Moe's out here. You ever heard of Moe's?
I don't know what Moe's is. I don't know what you're talking about. What is it?
Apparently, it's like an East Coast Chipotle or something.
What? Really? Yeah. Really? It's like I had no idea. I thought it was a coffee shop. It's like Moe's Coffee. I don't know why. I just don't think of Chipotle and Moe's. But it's like a burrito place then?
Yeah, it's very funny, and I'll give you a little funny anecdote. When I picked up Desiree from her flight when she came here, it's the first place I took her for lunch, and she loved it.
That's funny.
Yeah. Well, you pick up people out here, in the first place they want to go is In-N-Out.
Yeah, same here in Arizona. They want to go to In-N-Out because we have them here now too. Yeah, because it's the only thing Arizona has is all the California stuff that moves over a little bit.
And Fender. You got Fender guitars there.
We got Fender, but it is the weird. If you've never been there, it's the weirdest place. You walk in, there's this beautiful lobby that just is one of the coolest things. One of the coolest things you've ever seen. And then there's a person there to tell you to go away because they don't let people in on the premises.
I went to Fender in a Corona.
Right.
I got to do a special tour of the entire
Right.
place, and you walk in there, and they have like almost like a guitar tornado. You ever
Yes.
seen the pictures
Oh
of that?
yeah. The guitar tornado. I have a picture of it somewhere around here. Yeah, it's right it takes up like the whole room because of that little room you walk in. You're
It's a
talking about,
tiny room. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy cool. Well, so think about this. So imagine when you walk into corporate headquarters, that entryway's 4 times as big and has way more stuff. Plus, it's all glass doors inside, so you can see into the building down these amazing hallways, and they like adorn the place with nothing but gear. So you walk in, you're like, oh yeah, this is gonna be cool. And then they're like, do you have a door card? You're like, no. And I've said for years, because I'm like, you should take the logos off the building. I mean, people come to town and they think they should go here, right? Like it's a place to check out. But because it's the corporate headquarters, when you go in there, they have prototype stuff everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's just full of stuff they're working on, and they don't want people to see. So, I've been there about a dozen times or more, and half the stuff you end up seeing, you never see.
Yeah, it's like it's a pink elephant is what it is.
Right. It's all this stuff that you're like, man, I can't wait till that comes out. And then a couple years later, you're like, oh yeah, I never did see that thing ever happen. So
yeah, but the Corona location, they do have factory tours.
Yeah,
where anybody can go and you can get a tour of the entire thing and watch them make the guitars, the Wolfgangs, and then they have like a little shop like at the front of the building that has like all kinds of like special on display stuff.
Yes.
The
the factory. I tell everybody you should go check out the factory. I tell every guitar player you should check out every factory.
Every factory. I want to go to the Nags factory.
Oh,
just real quick before you start that, Citizen Kane says, "Hey Phil McKnight, what's your favorite main guitar right now?"
It's my Strat. It's
The
always
gold
a
one?
Strat.
The
No.
gold one with the humbuckers?
You know what? I'm on a kick now. I'm playing this one.
one on the ground.
The one on the ground. I've been playing this one now. This army green one.
Oh, look at that.
It's the ugliest color ever, but it is amazing. It plays great. It's an American Pro. So
American Professional?
Yep. So it's got the 2 Tim Shaws.
Wow. Hey, send that one here when you're done.
Yeah. I'm coming to realize I don't know about you, but I've come to realize that once you own everything, you realize that you only like one thing.
I agree with you. That's why I have a bazillion Wolfgang guitars, and the cheapest one is the one I like the best.
Yep. Yep.
It's crazy that I get more of a kick out of making a really great guitar out of an inexpensive guitar than I do out of playing all the real expensive ones that I have.
Yeah. Isn't that funny? I wouldn't say I wish it isn't like that. It's just, it's weird. It's weird to go, right?
Yeah.
You travel all this journey and then go, yeah, that's where I started. I should have just stayed there. So. No, I saw the video with Larry when he was at the Nags factory, and I've been jonesing because of that video, right?
Yeah.
He was there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, where he's playing, right?
Yeah. In fact, ever since I played Larry's Nags, I've been thinking about one.
Do you want to get a Severn, or do you want to get something else?
No, I want to get the Severn. The problem I'm having is I'm a basic guy, just paint it a color and call it a day. But man, those
Rebel guitars were. If you look at Larry's Facebook page. He just came back from Rebel Guitars.
Yeah, the green
one, sparkle one with the single hum. That's got my name written all over it. That guitar is
I was same thing. I was looking at the same pictures on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
I was saying the same thing. As soon as I saw the green sparkle, I was like, yeah, that's what I need. Right?
That's it right there. Done. Take that one.
But you know what it is? What's haunting me is, man, do you see those ones that they do that have the turquoise stones in them?
Yeah.
Bodies?
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, some of
the tier one guitar. It's it's just ridiculous how much money they are.
Yeah,
they're playable works of art, just like Larry says.
Yeah, except for one thing I could say about those guitars. I don't care what the price is. If they told me that guitar was $20,000, I wouldn't be shocked because I've never seen one before.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, "How is there stones in the wood?" Right?
Because those guys are amazing luthiers.
Yes.
They're I can't even call them luthiers. They're more than luthiers. They're artists. I mean, I guess a luthier isn't the same as an artist, but they're really dare I say, like a Picasso is a Picasso. These guys are to guitar what Picasso was to painting.
Yes. Yeah. It's and so like I said, it's tough because like I said, they're great. They're just fantastic instruments. So yeah, I'm do you know if they're going to Summer NAMM? I've been thinking about going. I don't know. I've been debating about going to Summer NAMM. I just don't know. So I've never been. It's the only NAMM I've never been.
I went a couple years ago. It's a lot of fun, and I went on crutches. And it's still fun.
Oh, that's nice.
It was still fun on crutches.
I heard it's smaller and calmer.
But it's not that small, and there's a lot of walking to get to it. The inside is small, but to get to the actual show, there's a good half-hour walking to do.
Oh, nice. Yeah, but I'm thinking I want to go because I'm hoping that there's like smaller, because that's what they said. There's not a lot, like a lot of the big companies don't go, and so I was like, well, that'd be cooler to see like NAGS, see cooler companies, and try stuff and play stuff, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I don't know you. It's hard for me to pull the trigger on a guitar like a NAGS without touching it first. I've touched. I played Larry's.
Well, that's what's stopping me from buying one because there are none around here.
Yeah.
Music Zoo was a dealer at some point, but the guitar that I want, they never had, and I don't really do much business there at the moment. So, and I don't even think they're dealers anymore. I'm not sure. I haven't seen a NAGS guitar in that store in a long time, but I want a Steve Stevens model, and I'm afraid to pull the trigger. It's a $6,000 guitar,
right?
That I don't know how it feels, and I'm a little afraid. It's different than a Les Paul. If you were to say, "Oh, it feels like a '59 Les Paul reissue," I'd be like, "Okay, I know what they feel like. I'll take one," but I don't know, and it's just it's too big a gamble to just pull the trigger on a guitar like that without ever feeling it.
Yeah, it makes you wonder how companies sell guitars now. You know what I mean? When there's a pile of stuff now that I can honestly say I've never touched. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is funny because I don't think 10 years ago you could have found hardly anything I hadn't had some experience with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. I know. Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, that's funny that you said the green one too. As soon as I saw that
green guitar, I got the itch. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh boy. Yeah. Something else.
I don't know where's NAGS. That's right.
Oh yeah.
Johnny's got NAGS too.
Huh? I've never
NAGS too.
I've never played one. I don't think. I don't think I have.
I don't know. See, to me, I have a PRS Mira, and so the guy who started NAGS, that's his design at Paul Reed Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And so what's interesting about that is when I played Larry's, it had the Mira vibe, that body shape, right? It had the same kind of feel to it. The neck felt good, but the problem was when because Larry's like, hey, you want to play my guitar? I'm like, yeah, because he's, that's this personality. He's just so personable.
Yeah, sure.
Kind with everything. But when I was playing it, I wasn't playing it with the mindset, oh yeah, I'm going to definitely get one of these. right?
Yeah, you're like, oh my God, I'm playing a Nags. Now what?
Yeah, now what? Right. So my impression of it was very good. I had no, I didn't feel like the neck was too thick or too thin. I thought everything sounded right. He let me play through his Axe effects, and so it sounded fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
But as you get closer to pulling that real trigger where the wallet opens up, I'm like, I don't know. Do I really know what I'm buying when I buy one? Do I remember?
Well, here's the other thing. When you're buying a guitar like that, you can't think about the resale value. You can't think about because there is none. It doesn't say Gibson or Fender on the headstock.
Right.
It's an
Absolutely.
amazing thing. I mean, even like a Collings guitar. A Collings electric guitar is probably one of the best guitars you'll ever play in your life.
Yep.
But when you try to sell it, people are gonna be like, "What? I don't know what that is. What? It looks like a Gibson, but I don't know. What's it worth? I don't know what it's like. Really? Now you're dumb. You weren't dumb when I told you I had one. But now that I'm trying to sell it to you, you're like, it's like taboo. And that's, unfortunately, and it's different with basses. Fortunately, bass guitars and bass players, they don't care what's on the headstock as long as the thing sounds and plays amazingly. They don't care. And that goes for, I'd say, about 95% of bass players. Guitar players, I'd say 95% of guitar players care what's on the headstock, with the name on the headstock, or what the headstock looks like even. They care. Bass players don't. They just want a great instrument.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And I think it's also, too, because bass players have their community unique small builders are cooler.
Mm-hmm.
Having a bass that no one knows what your bass is cooler.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, bass players like the idea that when people see him on stage, they're like, I don't know what he's playing. And they're like, oh, that's right. Guitar players like it to be a little bit more, upfront what it is.
And RMG, RMG says, Dave, I've played Nags, I've played the Severn, Chenna, the Chesapeake, and they're all PRS quality. And yes, I've played all those as well. I've played every one. I've played a Chop Tank. The only one that I have not played is a Steve Stevens model, and that's the only one that I really want. And that's why I'm afraid, because I haven't played that one yet. And although I know they're all good, I'm still not going to drop $6,000 plus on a guitar I've never played. I don't care if Eddie Van Halen played it. If I've never played one, I'm not dropping that much money on
it. And the Steve Stevens model, I think, has a slightly thicker neck. Isn't that one of the?
It's going to be thicker and wider, and quite frankly, I'm not into that. But you never know. I've played guitars before that I've normally not liked, and then for some reason I think they're amazing. You never know until you try one.
I agree. Yeah, when it's right, it's amazing. When the necks are thick and wide, I think they sound great, and sometimes they can feel great, but sometimes they fatigue my hands.
Yeah.
So. So yeah, I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why.
Desiree says you're good for another 15 minutes, right? And then you're good.
I think that's when she's calling you.
What?
You guys better be done in 15 minutes, because that's what I'm calling Dave. He's mine the rest of the night.
That's why what I'm really curious to see as a possible future is when 3D printers, if 3D printers can become cheap and easy for everybody to have. One great thing is it'd be nice if companies could send you a program or an email that would give you the ability to 3D print a section of their neck. You know what I mean?
That would be a good idea. That would be really an amazing idea.
Yeah, because then you could get it just right. Because sometimes, like you said, I'm okay with the quality of the guitar. I know the guitar's quality, right? I know what guitars sound like generally when you make them out of what and when you put what kind of pickups in them, right? I just don't know how they feel, and you know what I mean. And
it needs to make sense. If I'm going to pull the trigger on a guitar that much money, or for that matter, at my age now, or where I'm at guitar playing, at any price, I need to be happy with every part of it. I can't just buy a guitar. Oh yeah, well that's kind of cool. Yeah, I'll buy that one. You know, I need to love the guitar for me to. I don't care if it's a $500 guitar. I need to love the guitar for me to buy it.
Yeah.
I mean, I need to really love the guitar. I need to really, because I don't need anything. I don't need 48 of these things. You know.
Well, you were on a spree for a while. What's your last guitar you bought? Did you calm down? You look like you've calmed down a little bit.
The last guitar I bought was the blue Wolfgang standard that I rebuilt and made into an American version of it. But you know, it's I don't know. Then I took, like, I would say, almost 2 months off of even playing guitar because I had problems with my hand.
Oh.
And I couldn't even, for a while, I couldn't even put my hand around a guitar neck. And now that I'm better, I'm relearning how to play guitar. It's so funny, you know, you don't touch a guitar for 2 months, the facility goes away really fast. It goes away. It's like, it's really, really hard to play. The first couple days that I tried playing again, I was like, I should give this up because I suck. I can't do it. And I was afraid. And I was like, am I going to get it back? My brain knows what to do, but my fingers won't do what my brain tells them to do. And it's coming back now. It's still tough, but it's not. It's like, okay, I know how to play. I can play. But it was scary, and it made me realize that, you know, I don't need every guitar that I get, that my eyes look at. I don't need, you know, it's very special to be able to play guitar. I don't need to own everyone. I just need to play it. Just need to play the guitar.
Well, also too, you've hit the point now where you got to admit, as much as it is fun to buy guitars and own them or collect them and have them, I know from talking to you, as long as we've talked, you also, for a while, like me, it was really like collecting information. Mm-hmm. Not just learning information. I read a lot, you read a lot, we watch a lot, we learn, right? But touching teaches so much, right? And touching guitars, doing stuff with guitars, being around guitars. And I find that my slowdown in buying has nothing to do with anything other than I feel like I've pretty much touched and played everything at some point.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Right. Like I said, the amount that's left is so small. And even that amount, after a while, I know it's going to be something. Like I said earlier when I was talking about pedals, when I get a new pedal, I'm like, oh, I try to see if it's like a pedal I already have. Like guitars, sometimes I pick up a new guitar and I go, yeah, this is great, but I really already have this guitar. I've tried this guitar before.
Yeah, yeah. You know, it's exactly that. You know, I have all these guitars on my wall that look exactly alike, except for the stripe scheme, and I have them for a reason, because you know, that's a hobby of mine to collect all these Van Halen replicas of the ones he's used. But I find myself playing just one of them, just one, and it's the same one all the time. The rest of them are great, but you know, they're all great. But the one that I gravitate to is really the one that I love.
Johnny, you posted that thing the other day on your Facebook, the Eddie Van Halen guitar, the picture with him, the blue one with the stripes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
What? Oh, okay. Never mind. I was going to say something, but you're talking about the one from 1980, right?
Yes.
Blue one with red stripes.
We did a whole thing on that.
Yes, I know, but I thought you meant. I thought.
You were sleeping through that?
I thought Philip was talking about something else that you sent me.
He gets excited. You say anything about something he hasn't seen.
I saw it.
He'll go crazy until he sees it.
I thought it was something else.
See?
Sorry.
And he was like, "What? What?"
Like, wait a second. You told me not to share that, and you did.
Huh?
Nothing.
Yeah, that guitar. Yeah, we believe it was Nesdal that started it.
It's a Yamaha.
He thought it was a Yamaha, and everybody thinks it's a Yamaha. So.
Well, it is a Yamaha. It absolutely is a Yamaha. And Chris Hubbard proved it because he bought one, and it's exactly the guitar. Did you see Chris Hubbard? Did you see his posts on it? He made a replica of it already.
You know, I might have. because like I said, it caught, because I get Johnny's feeds in my Facebook, so I was watching it, and then I was like, as soon as I saw that picture, I was like, and Johnny's like, yeah, his comment was basically, here's one that no one's really seen. And I'm like, yeah, I've never seen that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You guys did a live feed. Did you talk about it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'll go back and watch that one. I hadn't watched you guys for about 2 weeks. So, and then on Monday, you guys didn't do one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I was gone.
Yeah. So
he contacted me like 2 hours before we were supposed to have it. And he says, "Oh yeah, I'm not home today."
yeah. So that's
Thanks for giving me so much time. Thanks.
No, it was out. It was the morning I talked to you. I did a video myself.
Yeah, I watched most of that because you were talking.
Saying I wasn't going to be here. Yeah.
And I watched most of that, and then that's why today I was like, oh, I gotta make sure I watch today. So when I pulled it up. So
Yeah, you have to watch today's video, definitely.
Yeah.
When we're done, you can go back and watch it.
Go back and watch it.
It's a good one, man.
Can't do it.
Good one.
You guys probably never watch your own videos, right? Yeah, you can't. I can't.
Very rarely when we have a good guest on, that's when I'll be like, oh, okay, I didn't put my foot in my mouth too many times.
I already have to torture myself enough when I do my live shows now. After I do the live show, I watch the entire thing because I do the index now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, down below you put
I put every single question that was asked and the time stamps and click right to it. And it's not horrible. It's not hard work, except for I just hate watching the live video of myself. Like, not only because it's not like a person, it's not because I don't want to stare at myself. That's probably part of it. But it's just, like I said, I already know what I said, just like this. You already know what you guys said. You're like, I don't need to watch it.
Well, usually if it's a good one, which I mean, usually it is. I mean, we have a great time doing these things. I'll watch them the next day, like in the morning, like when I wake up, I'll turn on the TV while I'm still, lying there, and I'll look at it. The show. I'm saying.
Right. Hey,
but,
really quick. All two of you guys. Very funny. On three, let's all do the bobblehead because Showman Blues wants us as bobbleheads.
What?
How do you do a bobblehead?
The bobblehead. One of these things. Do one of those. Just the bobble. There you go. Okay, Showman Blues, you got your bobbleheads.
I'm dizzy.
Yeah, me too. My head hurts now. Are you good?
But no, as far as these videos, like the videos on this channel, a lot of times I'll rewatch. Like I'll probably rewatch this with dinner tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he'll keep it on himself only.
No, I mean I'll go through, I'll remember, I'll remember Dave saying something, kind of weird or something, and I'll find it and I'll watch it and and then I'll call Dave, I'll yell at him, Remember when you said that? No, I'm on the phone. I gotta go.
Yeah. Remember when you
Desiree? No, it's still me. Yeah. No, but yeah, I'll watch the video with dinner sometimes the next day. Sometimes I'll go back, because I mean with you though, you've got, your videos, you get, hundreds of thousands of views, within a couple of days or whatever. But I'll go back, and if there's a video that I see that people are really, really enjoying, one from like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, a month ago, 3 months ago, I'll go back and rewatch that sometimes, and just to see what they're talking about it, or if they get comments. Like if people start commenting on a specific video.
I have, that I understand. I have to do that too. Someone will comment something and I'll go to respond, and then I go, oh, I better watch what they just saw because I may not remember it the way it happened. You know what I mean? And then I watch and then it's like, okay, good. That's what I remembered. Or sometimes I'm like, no, I thought I said it differently than that.
Yeah. But 9 times out of 10, it's two people fighting with each other. You probably get that a lot, where people fight with each other on your videos, but you get the comments. So you see what they're saying to each other, name calling, all this stuff.
What I get is So yours has to do it too. Your phone, what it does sometimes is I'll go to check a message or I'll do something, and then sometimes it shows you what's going on, right? You know, on the top. And every once in a while, it doesn't happen too often. It's not daily, but it's at least twice a week. Somebody will post a comment and it comes right up, and I can just see it, right? And because it comes up, I read it. But a lot of times, like you said, it's somebody fighting with somebody else. And I'll read it, and it's a really inappropriate comment. I go, what the heck did I do? And I open it up to see what they're saying about me. And I go,
thinking it's towards you. And
yeah,
it's
and I go,
towards somebody else. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, they're like, how dare you say that? I'm like, what'd I say? And I'll open it up, and they're fighting.
You son of a,
But, yeah, I hate that happens, but it happens.
Oh, and you get trolls. You get people that leave you comments saying, hey, I hate you. You're ugly, and sometimes you block them. Sometimes you just leave them.
I generally don't block anybody. What I do is I just have all the filters up. They're all my filters are to the strongest degree.
Oh, so like certain words can't be said and stuff.
Yeah, certain words. But I approve them. I'm not a prude. I'll send it through, right? It's just everything that's not just inappropriate language, just I have the filters for like if people put links in their videos, those have to get filtered. Anything that they put that's weird, so I just approve it. So I see the stuff and I approve it. And I'd say 99% of it I just approve. I just do it.
Mm-hmm. One thing. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, because I don't want to censor anybody. I just don't want to create a forum or a place where people do that. You know what I mean? Argue and fight. Because I don't, unless it's in good fun. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with a good, strong argument about what you're passionate about, as long as
if you truly believe in what you're saying, and you have arguments behind it, absolutely.
But if you're
talking out of your ass and you're thumbs downing stuff for no reason, just because you're being mean, or you're saying stuff because you're being mean because you can,
right?
Those people, I want to get hit by a bus.
I don't need a bus. I just.
All right, a very big car. They should get run over. And then when the guy is driving a car says, "What was that?" he backs up into them.
I don't wish harm on anybody.
Yeah,
anybody can say anything they want to me.
The reason I say that is because it's so far-fetched that, I mean, it's like it's a joke.
But you look serious. You look like you're really mad.
Because I look very serious. I look like an angry guy, but I'm really not. I look just like my dad. My father is the most intimidating-looking guy on the planet, and he is the most harmless guy on the planet. But he is very scary looking because he's serious looking. He was a cop for a bazillion years. So you don't know when he's upset, or because he could be kidding. He could be totally joking around and look like he's ready to take your head off. And I'm the same way. And I 95% of the time am so joking. I never really mean harm on anyone, except for those 8 people that gave us stuff.
You don't really get bothered by the thumbs downs. Like
I don't at all, because it's not my channel.
I'll tell you a funny thing about thumbs downs. That's why I commented about them today when I pulled up your video. I mean, and I saw 4 right away. My videos, usually within the first 30 seconds, I get my first thumb down, right? Like it just happens instantaneously, right? And what I always chuckle about that is, that means that there's somebody out there
that just doesn't like it.
Well, but better than that, you can't find my video in 30 seconds unless you get notified when it goes up. So somebody's out there who wants to, that not only subscribes, but they want to be notified when I make videos, right? Yeah. And they want to thumbs it down as fast as they can. And so what I find interesting about that is not that I get thumbs down. I think it's interesting, here's why. They're a fan. They just don't realize it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, because they keep going back. It's the same guy who keeps coming back and doing the thumbs down every time.
They think that what I find interesting, the thing that makes me chuckle inside at night, is that in their mind, they think they hate me, right? And they hate the channel, they hate the show, whatever, they hate it. But the truth is, they're a fan. they're just you know, it's an awkward arrangement, but they're a fan, right? If you subscribe and you click a video as soon as I upload one, you're a fan. I don't care if you hate me or like me, you're a fan. So I find that interesting, because to me, my nature is so much to just pass over things I don't like, right? I just want to, right? I really don't watch things I don't enjoy.
Exactly. There are shows that I don't watch because I'm not going to take the time to thumbs them down.
Yeah.
If I don't like you, I'm not watching you.
Yeah, but if they don't like it, that's fine. I just find it interesting. You know, and of course, you always find it interesting because when they click the thumb down button, you know, you get paid a quarter of a penny. It's not a lot, but hey, they have to pay you to hate you. It's kind of funny when you think of it that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I would think would be really cool? Maybe if YouTube, you know how Facebook has, you know, you can like, dislike stuff, and it shows who it is.
Right.
You know, it'd be cool if YouTube showed like who it was. You know, if it shows who thumbs up or thumbs downs the stuff or whatever.
You know what?
It would be great if they actually gave the address too.
I don't want to be controversial. I don't want to be controversial, so I won't say what comedian said it. But there was a comedian recently who said this great thing about thumbs up and thumbs down. He said, you know what's interesting about thumbs up and thumbs down is if you stub your toe, you'd probably thumbs down that, and you'd probably thumbs down Hitler too. And he said, and what a big spectrum of things to happen in the world, right? You know what I mean? He goes, so it's weird that, you know, there's one grade for the extremes of bad things and good things. And I thought that was interesting too, right? You know, you get a thumbs down and you're like, they probably didn't even hate it. They probably just disliked it a little bit. So I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I mean, what's really funny is we do these videos for 2 hours, and Dave will be like, "Oh, look, oh, they took the thumbs down away. Oh, they must have done that by mistake," and then they do it again because they forgot they already did it.
Yeah,
you know. But still, that means they're still sitting here watching, and it's all no matter what the thumbs ups or thumbs downs, it's all about watch time. That's what it all is.
Right, and like I said, I think you guys probably agree with me. It's more of I'm just curious, the psychology behind it. I'm always curious about it.
Well, that's me too. I mean, I can understand if we're a bunch of schmucks and we're giving bad information and we just suck at what we're doing. I can understand. I'd give myself a thumbs down. But you know, people are asking us questions. They want to know the answers to the questions they ask. And we give good information, and we take the time to do this, and we don't get paid for it, and we all have a good time, and we're all friends. Yet people do that; they thumbs down the video. It's like, you know, just don't watch. Just don't watch. It's cool, but I'm not here for you that are thumbing me down. I'm here for the people that are enjoying this.
Yeah. And you know? But ultimately, I don't know about you guys, but I do pay attention to thumbs up and thumbs downs and in comments, because it's not so much I live or die by what everybody thinks or says, but you know, here's my theory. I think a lot of times when you get thumbs down, I try to rationalize it instead of, yeah, there's trolls and there's jerks, but sometimes people, they're your fans and they just don't like where you're going today. Right, or what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I try to be aware of that as well for fun. You know, right?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I think the people that watch, you know, this channel or these specific videos, here do know they do know that we're going to talk about the Wolfgang guitars, we're going to talk about Van Halen, whatever. But also, I'm going to tell you what I did yesterday. I'm going to tell you, you know, like whatever you want.
Well, yeah, this channel has become, for the lack of a better term, it's become like a Howard Stern type of show where we just talk about what we did during the day. Yeah, we talk about guitars, and if someone asks us questions about gear, we'll answer the gear. But we just talk about our daily thing and what we ate and what we do, and people seem to enjoy the fact that they're hanging out with me and Johnny.
Yeah, I agree. Well, that's why I watch.
And it doesn't always have to be about gear. It certainly doesn't always have to be about Eddie Van Halen. It doesn't have to be about guitar. You know, it could be about anything. you know, and it affords the people in the chat to talk about whatever the hell they want to talk about.
Yeah.
And they don't have to always talk to us. They can talk to each other about anything. It's just a hangout, which is really what this is. It's a hangout.
Right.
You know, for a lack of a better name, we call it EVH Gear Live, but it really isn't. It's Johnny and Dave. It's the Johnny and Dave hour. You know, it's the Johnny Beane show featuring Dave Nesdall or whatever you want to call it. That's what it is. Yes, and we do happen to have some good info on gear when you want to know answers to stuff, and we will always give you answers to stuff.
Well, I find watching you guys, and I've said this in the past, I mostly listen because I treat you guys like a podcast. A lot of times I'm listening. I look at it like this is where people who like Van Halen, Eddie Van Halen, and they collect. So that's what the commonality. Does it make sense? So if you had 50 people together and they all like Van Halen, that's their commonality. But we don't have to talk about Van Halen. But it's nice to know that everybody has that in common.
Yes.
And then it's interesting sometimes to see what other things you do and don't have in common.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I'm a large Steve Vai fan.
Me too.
People, see, some Van Halen fans hate Steve Vai, right? And some like him, right? And I think it's interesting to figure out why both ways and stuff. So yeah,
it's very funny because, you know, back in the early 90s, I was known as 7-string Dave because I had more 7 strings than anything, and I was a huge Steve Vai guy, huge. You know, I mean, Van Halen was always my thing, but you know, Steve Vai, you know, it's like he was the biggest and best slice of bread out there. You know,
right? I mean, because he was boisterous and he was out there and he's crazy.
Yeah, and I was working for Joe Dispagany at the time at Gem Guitars.
That would do it.
So that was like, you know, it's all I wanted was to, you know, have everything that Steve Vai ever had. I wanted everything, you know.
Well, you know, plus too, he also, besides being a great guitar player, besides all the things that accompany him in his history, mostly probably because I'm trying to pick the words perfectly so I don't insult anybody, but I don't want to liken him to Van Halen this way, but I'm gonna. Like Van Halen, he created some interesting looking guitars.
Yes, he did. Yep.
You know, and so it wasn't just that he's a great guitar player and he has a personality and all these things in bands. It's just also, you know, Clapton's great, but a Sunburst Strat I have seen before. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So, you know, like Van Halen, the first time you see the Van Halen Strat guitar, you're like, that is different.
Well, here's the other thing. I'm going to go the other way. The same way, but the other way with Steve. The way Eddie Van Halen created a Strat with one humbucker and a Floyd Rose. Steve Vai created the Super Strat with hum single hum and a Floyd Rose. So not only do you get the sound of a Les Paul, but you get the inside 2 sounds of a Fender Stratocaster with a Floyd Rose on it and 24 frets.
Yes. Yeah.
Because you've never seen 24 frets on a guitar until Steve Vai used it.
Yeah. Plus, both those guys, what they also have in common too was they realized who they were. They recognized that they had this, you know, besides being rock stars, they recognized that they didn't have to just take things that companies gave them. And it doesn't seem that unique, but until you think about it, when you look at the Wolfgang and you look at the Gem and you like it to a lot of other guitar companies, right? And players, a lot of players do just play what those companies have already made.
Correct. Yeah.
You know, I love Paul Gilbert, but a PGM is a gem with a paint job. You know what I mean?
And no monkey grip.
Yeah, and that's.
But so is an RG. It's an RG. It's
right.
You can take it that much further, and it's just an RG.
And nothing wrong with it. And then I think that's why, even though I'm not a big fan of the guitar overall, I really enjoyed that when he made the Fireman. You know, that was his way of saying, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to make something, you know, that isn't restricted by what a company already makes." So
my all-time favorite Paul Gilbert guitar is the white violin guitar, the one that looks like the violin bass.
Yeah, of course, right?
Yeah, I don't remember what it's called, but I love that guitar. And they made a couple of them. They made a couple for him, and then they made a model for 1 year. I think they made that model. I think there's maybe 20 guitars or 25 guitars or something like that. So you can find them, and sometimes you see one on eBay, and it's like 20 grand. But
yes, I think I saw one for 12,000 or something crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. But if I could afford that guitar just because of what it is, I'd buy one.
Yeah, and so it's funny, right? That the guitar players, because like I said, I think it was in the when last year in January when Eddie Van Halen got inducted into the museum, right? And they put they put him up. That's what he was saying. He was like, "Oh, I just didn't take what companies already had." And then, of course, in an interview, Steve Vai says the same thing. It's like I wasn't really interested in what they already had. I was looking for something else.
Yeah, he wanted something. He wanted his thing. Yeah, exactly.
And and you realize that I just had said this. I'm quoting myself. I just had said I've decided now there's 4 key spots. There's 4 categories that guitar players can own. They can be great guitar player, a great producer, a great songwriter, and a great product manager. Does it make sense?
Sure.
And some are variations of those 4, and some are all 4. And the product manager part is, like Eric Johnson, fantastic player, and his Strat is one of the best Strats Fender's ever made. But
I agree with you there. It's one of the best Strats. It's got all the best ideas that Fender ever put in a guitar.
Yeah.
It's one of the easiest playing Stratocasters on the planet.
Yep.
I've played a few of them, but I played his original prototype, the black one that he used, his personal guitar.
Right.
And his personal, the number one, it's the prototype that they gave him.
Right.
And I played that guitar, and it's just one of the best Strats I've ever played in my life.
Yeah.
Well, and the funny thing is the same night I played it, when he was breaking down his gear, he played at the bitter end just before I did. Like I did the jam with Richie Cannata from Billy Joel's band.
Right.
And just before that, Eric had played with Oz Noy. I don't know if you know who Oz Noy is.
Oh, yeah.
But Eric Johnson sat in with Oz.
Right.
And so Eric put his guitar on the ground, and he was cleaning up around him, and he stepped on his guitar. Stepped on his own. He just stepped on his own guitar. He didn't know we were stepping. So I picked it up, and, so he, to get it out of his way, I was standing right there, and he knew who I was. He knew that I was up next. So he didn't bother him that I was holding his guitar, and I said to him as he's cleaning up, and he's cleaning his own gear. I'm like, this is probably the best Strat I've ever played, other than any vintage guitar. And he's like, that's why I played this one. Yeah, it was amazing. Great guitar.
Do you find that's another topic. That's another thing I've noticed too. Steve Vai and a lot of the players, Nuno Bittencourt, they play the prototype.
Yes.
They play the first one. Steve Vai's the 7-string that Steve Vai plays is the first green, black with green dot one they ever gave him, right?
Yes, the first non-dipped one.
Yes,
because
the first non-dipped one.
See on the Passion of Warfare record,
right?
He gave that one to Thomas McRocklin. That's Thomas's guitar now.
Yeah.
So
Thomas McRocklin. Boy.
Yeah. Can you give me a second? My dog just needs to go out. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yes.
So is that your pedal board?
Right there?
Yeah.
No, that's just it says cables on it. I would keep all my cables in that.
Oh.
In that one. No, my pedal board is actually it's under my desk. Hey, Craig. Hey, man. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And I think we're gonna wrap it up. I think when he gets back.
Sure.
It's been about 2 hours. Somewhat.
Goes by fast.
Oh, I know.
I'm back.
Hey.
We were outside for a few minutes.
Mm-hmm. Howie is in the other room. He'll be out here pretty soon because we're gonna go for our walk. Pretty, huh? Vintage Sounds, are you going to Trader Joe's? Me? Already did. I was there today. See, that's the thing. People, they ask them most random things. They're like, yep. Yeah, that's what I dig about doing these videos, you know. I like it that we can talk about guitars, gear, you know, EVH gear. I mean, the stuff we love. But I like it that we can just be ourselves and just BS and talk about whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what I really dig about doing this stuff.
The 2 hours went really fast tonight. Like,
yeah, I was just saying that.
Fast.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, hey, Philip, thanks for jumping in here.
No, really, I appreciate it.
Thank you guys for letting me come on. Like I said, I was just gonna watch, but you know what it was? I was just like, I wanted to post a comment, and then but thank you guys. Like I said, I have a blast. Usually I don't catch you guys live. I catch the rebroadcast. You know what I mean? As soon as it uploads, and then I watch. I listen. Well, I listen to it a day or later because I just put it in my car and it feeds in my car. Or if I'm working here in the office, I'll have it playing in the background.
Mm-hmm.
So
awesome, good stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Well, everybody, go check out Philip McKnight. So what is your show? Your show is called what? Know Your Gear? Is that your channel?
It's not a show. What I did was, in fact, I just watched a YouTuber talk about me the other night, which is actually kind of a weird experience to watch another guy talk about you and the way he talked about me. But he articulately explained what I was actually doing, and I didn't even realize what I was doing, so it was kind of funny. I started doing the QA. I do QA, question and answers, on Fridays because
at 3 o'clock Mountain.
Yes, and right. Except for this week, it's on Saturday.
Okay.
And the reason I switched is it's this Saturday at 3, and then the following Saturday will be at 3 because I'm going to be on In the Blues. I'll be on his channel. It's me and him and the Tone King, and I think somebody else. But what happens as the channel grows, right, or as it's grown, I should say, whatever. There's actually a sad part to that. Right. You know, right. It's like your perception is that it's great. Like, think about what you guys have here. You have this magic experience that you have 3 times a week. Right. And people can jump on and talk to you and hang out. And as channels grow, you realize your community gets bigger than you can talk to. You know, there's a difference, you know, right? Think about it, let's go back to as plain as day as what it is. Playing in a club, you can have a personal experience with the audience, but in a stadium, you can't. And although it kind of feels good to be in a stadium, you're also realizing that you're really just talking to people now. You're not, talking at them. You're not interacting with them, right? Right. So like Johnny was talking about earlier, you know, you want to respond to comments, but, you know, like you said, after a while, you know, when 100,000 views flops through on a bunch of videos, you know, even a small percentage of that, you're talking about hundreds of comments a day. You just can't be on top of them, right?
Unless you have someone working for you.
Yeah, and you can't do that because you're just
you're not making money to begin with. If you're making so little bit.
Yes, and so you can't do it. So the QA thing every Friday is my way of saying, hey, you know, who are the people, who are the guitar players like you guys have? Who are the guitar players that are my community? Who are the people that give a crap for real? And the truth is, if they do care, if it is something that they're interested in doing, hanging out, they'll find a way to be there, right? And that's what I do. We just talk. Right. I answer questions, you know, they say stuff, I repeat it, you know, we just talk. So it's how I'm keeping my sanity.
Hey, real quick, Philip, Bozique, I don't know if you're able to read the chat at all, but Bozique says, Philip, before you leave, I just want to say I love your YouTube channel, very informative. Your gear reviews are also amazing. He's a big fan.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Right? It's nice.
I mean, I'll talk for everyone that's watching here. We're all big fans of yours, all of us.
Well,
including myself and Johnny, we're all big fans of yours. So,
well, I'm a big fan of your channel, right? That's because, like I said, it's really just, this is a cool thing that we get to do, hang out, talk, you know, right? you know, like Johnny says, it's amazing that anybody even pays attention to any of us.
That's true. That's true. And that brings us back to the thumbs up and thumbs downs. Even the thumbs downs, people are paying attention to us.
Yeah.
Whether it's positive or negative, people still are paying attention, and that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
So and that's the reason why. Yeah, do I give everyone a hard time for the thumbs downs? Yes, because I'm I like to bust chops, but I really it doesn't bother me. It really doesn't.
Right. And like I said before, I think what it is it's tough sometimes when they thumb you down so fast. You're like, hey, really?
Yeah, let me say something stupid first. Don't, at least wait till I put my foot in my mouth.
I have Johnny, I don't know if when you do these, because you guys have like a set time that you guys really stick to. I go into the YouTube events calendar and I'll create an event, right? Like for Saturday, I'll create the event so people can see it. And so like today, I created Saturday's event today, so people can find it, but it doesn't start, right? And I've seen you schedule them sometimes too. And sometimes I'll schedule it, and while I'll go check it just to make sure that it populated, that it did what it's supposed to do, and I'll go in there and there's a thumbs down, just one thumbs down. I'm like, what is your thumbs down? That I'm gonna do it? You're mad that I'm gonna?
Well, that's the guy or girl that's just like, I just don't like you, and I maybe I won't be able to get there tonight, but I want to make sure that you have my thumbs down.
Yeah.
maybe they're upset that you're not on yet. That they and wait.
Wait a minute. We probably shouldn't say this on the air, but I'm going to do it anyways. We might be coming up with the greatest $1 million idea ever. We need to create an app that people can just thumbs down precursor. Like they could put in the app all the stuff they hate, and it'll automatically just thumb it down for them. Right. You just type in all the channels.
Like a thumbs down database.
Yeah, you can type in all the channels you hate ahead of time, and every time those channels come up with a video, it thumbs them down for you, and we'll all get rich. Everybody will buy the app just so they can hate on the channel. And then that way they don't have to watch the channels. They can just know that right now some channel's getting thumbed down.
That's right. It doesn't matter what he's saying.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Oh, so funny.
Yeah.
So,
the truth is, really, I don't think I've ever put a thumbs down on a video.
Oh, I have.
I'm not talking about these,
No, I know. I will. I've thumbs down you.
I mean, the video, it had, for me to thumbs down a video, it generally it has to be just like, it has to be like cruel. Like it has to actually, they have to be doing something that is actually upsetting to, or like if they're being mean or, but I mean, if it's a video of a kid, trying to play a song and it's not quite right or whatever, I'll thumbs up that.
Because he's trying. Absolutely.
I'll give him the thumbs up for trying, but if somebody is just being vicious or if someone makes a video saying, "Hey, Johnny Beane, I hate you," I'd probably actually thumbs that up. Actually,
I used to. I stopped doing this course as soon as I created a channel but anyways, I never really thumbs down anybody. Very rarely, and if I did, it was just something extreme, like, "Wow, I can't believe this," right? But it'd be very, very rare, if not ever. And I can't even think of an instance where I've ever done it. But I remember somehow doing it. But I haven't thumbs down anybody since I've been creating YouTube videos. Just because I know how it kind of feels when you see that thumbs down. And it doesn't build any like, I don't really feel like, if you say you don't like a video, it makes me understand that there's somebody else that doesn't like it. But I don't know what you didn't like about it, so it doesn't really help me in any way. But I can tell you what I used to do, which is I used to unsubscribe when I got mad. And I find that that's what a lot of people do. They unsubscribe from you. And then, like a bad relationship, a couple days later, I'd subscribe again. And I did that because I didn't understand. Now that I have a YouTube channel and I understand that YouTubers don't get paid for subscriptions or thumbs up or downs. And so, and in 99% of the cases, can't tell you even did it or that you came back. You know what I mean? So I don't do it now, but I used to think like, oh, this guy's crazy. I'm going to stop watching him, and I unsubscribe. And then like 2 weeks later, I'd subscribe again. Right. And I know that's what people do. I watch my analytics and I can tell I'll say something in a video and then I'll get like 50 people to unsubscribe. Literally, you can tag into the video and see that's where they did it, right? They didn't
the exact second in the video.
Yeah, you can see it, and I'll see it, and then I'll laugh because a couple days later, I'll see a slight influx of subscribers on top of the normal, and it'll be about almost half of that amount. And I know it's some of those people doing exactly what I used to do, going, I'm over it now. It's been 2 days. I'm not upset that he said that anymore. Just subscribe to
But
him.
you'll know who it is though, because you'll recognize the names of the people that just subscribed when you thought, wait a minute, I thought they were subscribed already.
And I don't, and it doesn't bug me because that was my first indication that this environment is, we have a relationship with everybody. That's what I said. It's community. You do, you know, it is personal. You just, and that's what's great about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. You know, it's cool to hang out with other people that like what you like.
So we have 49 people watching right now, and we have 47 thumbs ups. Can we get to 50? Can you guys give us 3 more so we can say goodnight?
Yeah, we're not going to bed until we get 3 thumbs ups.
3 more.
We can sit here all
So what you're saying, Dave, is if they really want us to keep going for 5 more hours, they'll just unthumb up us a couple times.
No. We're leaving. We're leaving it anyway. It's been 2.5 hours.
Yeah, and it's trash night.
Yeah.
Come on, give us that one back. Whoever took one away, give it back.
Yeah. I just thought of this though. It'd be cool. I mean, those of you that leave the thumbs downs. I mean, even I know you're not going to do this. After we're done with this video, leave a comment down below why you left that thumbs down.
I don't know. Do you care? I like I said, no, I don't know.
I just want to see Dave Nesdahl leave 8 comments.
Yeah, we should warn them. By the way, after you leave your comment, Dave's going to leave a comment. Something about a bus.
No, that he was the one that did it. Oh, yeah. Oh, see, yeah, we just lost 2 of them, but that means they forgot that they did it already.
Right.
No, I mean...
No, that was Cat Dumpling. She took hers away.
Oh, okay. See, even people we know leave them, and
so
they do it just to mess around, though.
Oh, she just gave it back.
Cool. All right. Are you guys good? We got 50. We're up to 50. 50
I got
comments.
49 on my side.
Thank you, guys. I got 50.
Now I have 50.
I got 50. Yes.
Thank you, everyone. That was cool. Thank you.
Oh, 49. Come on.
Stop it.
All right. All right. So Philip McKnight. So your channel. What is your channel called?
It's Phil McKnight. It's Philip McKnight. It's just my name. But it doesn't matter. I own every variable of channel you can think of, and if you type in anything close to all my channels, you get to my channel on YouTube. So, just it was something that YouTube suggested I do, so I did it, and it's been easy now. So even I think if you misspell my name, it comes up.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes. Yeah. I noticed. Well, just not that I Google myself, but if
Is that what you're calling it these days?
Yeah. Yeah. If I Google myself, just from some random iPad at the iPad store, you know, or whatever,
right?
I'll see that the first thing that comes up is the YouTube channel. So that's
I would.
That's cool.
Yes. Yeah.
That's cool. Because generally, you know, for a lot of years, I would send people to Facebook. Oh, go to my Facebook page or whatever, you know. But really, the truth is, you know, come here.
Yes.
This is the place, because this is where I will actually talk to you.
Well, Google owns YouTube, so I'm sure it's it's convenient. If you Google it, it's going to come up YouTube. But
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So everybody, go check out Philip McKnight. Go subscribe to him. If you enjoyed any of this tonight, you'll enjoy his stuff because it's similar.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
And yes. All right. We're out of here.
All right.
Thank you, everybody. Philip, thanks for jumping in.
Yeah. It's don't get off yet.
A lot of fun.
Don't log off just yet.
Dave?
Yeah.
It's It's always
Something.
Richard Ross, Later Gator, Citizen Kane, see ya. Steve Anderson, see ya. Clam Fingers.
Clam
See you
fingers.
later, man. Cat Dumpling, good night. Desiree, see ya. Michael Smith, Gary, good night. Everybody, good night. See you guys, what, Friday,
Friday.
I guess? All right. Johnny Beane, johnnybean.com. What's your domain, Philip?
I don't have one. Like a
You just-
website?
You just said you had like 20 of them.
No, YouTube channels. Here's the most conceited thing you could probably ever say, and I feel horrible saying it. Like I said, if you Google anything close to my name or anything close to what I do, it comes up because I just did that. So yeah. So I tell people just type in, misspell my name somewhere. It'll find
Philip
me.
Knight.
Yeah, Philip Knight. It'll come up. So yeah, it's just because, like you said, you understand it. It's because it's Know Your Gear, but it's Phil McKnight. So any iteration of those, combination of those, will get you where you need to go.
Good night.
Mhm.
Good night.
Mhm. So that's the easiest, though. Know Your Gear, as in KN.
I bet you.
How do you spell
I
that?
bet you know. N-O.
Yeah, just Know Your Gear. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Your Gear. All right.
Good night, everybody.
See ya.
See you Friday.
Bye.